Good match up there, BT. Tippett and Reid for Collingwood.
Yep, big job for Ben Reid.
And Thompson and Dane Swan, the two key midfielders going head-to-head.
And in the middle, it'll be Wood doing it against Jacobs. Collingwood get the immediate clearance out of the middle to centre half forward. An opportunity once again. Thompson slid the handball to Doughty. And Adelaide go forward. Davis playing in defence this year has been very, very impressive. Picked up there by Wright. Adelaide get it over the top. Henderson a chance here to gather. He was tackled. Was it legal? The umpire said yes, incorrect disposal.
It was early game nerves in my view for the youngster coming through. Could have kicked a goal, BT, and he tried to chip it into Henderson.
Goldsack filling that void left by Tuvey in the absence of his injury, but I believe he will be back next week. Alan Tuvey. There's Maxwell, another one back into the Collingwood lineup this week, the skipper. And he'll be wanting to work in some form in the middle part of this year. Kick down the line. Off hands and Adelaide away. Van Berlo there, skipper. John Cock, who Danny Frawley pointed out and David King has got a big job today. He's one of their directors, quarterbacks from half-back, if you like. Up the head ball, and Knight's going at it. Van Berlo in there. In the end, Knight's won it out, and they're out of the loop here. Adelaide. Thompson goes forward to a one-on-one. Here's that contest. Tippett and Reid.
How good's that?
Well, it could have got a free kick. Looked like Tippett had scragged his jumper, but snaffled it with one arm anyway.
And now on the counter-attack on the fat side of the ground. That's the vacant side. Look at the penalty kick. Swan wasn't sure what was coming from behind. He didn't get the loud and clear call from Blair. So he was a little jittery, as you would be. Now Swan to Cloak on the lead. Powerful.
Well, it just looks very different at the other end of the ground, Spud. You had two entries inside forward 50, which could have resulted in shots at goal had targets been hit. Collingwood go in once, and they've got it in the hands of Deadeye Dick this year.
Magnificent kick from Swan. That's what you want as your key forward. Just put the ball out in front and extend the arms. The backman, virtually impossible to stop that kick.
Well, he's got no music blasting in his ears or crowd noise at the moment because there's a bit of a hush here, so it might put him off. In comes Cloak, and it has. Liven up, crowd. He needs you to liven up. He practices with you all week.
So what you're saying, BT, is you want the Collingwood crowd to start singing when he starts having a shot at goal.
Absolutely we do.
You got a particular song in mind?
Just good old Collingwood would probably do at this stage. Loved hearing that yellow and black song last night as well. Good grab taken here in the end by Brodie Smith. Just in game 8, Smith. A little urgent to get it around the corner and clip the man on the mark.
Already kicking efficiency significantly down for Adelaide.
There's Dawes, the vice, didn't quite close, and on the counter go Adelaide. Davis with a timely thump over the back. Aren't they disciplined? Wellingham's got to beat a couple. A lot of Adelaide jumpers. They eventually got it. Dangerfield's first touch was important. Kick up there towards and Reid reads it nicely.
He's reading it beautifully at the moment, BT. Reid on Tippett. He's just reading the ball. Better than Kirk Tippett.
Tarrant, big job today. Spud as well. In defence, doesn't get a lot of it.
No, he's taken over from Presti's role. There's Maxwell playing forward now, BT. He's starting out of the goal square at full forward, Nick Maxwell.
What's the thinking there, do you reckon?
Maybe just to get him into the game, and he can dictate his starting points. As a defender, you've got to play reactive football. When you're coming back from injury, playing the forward line, you can dictate when you have to go.
Other thing is they had to replace the Lee Brown role, so they've just shuffled them round. Yep. And Maxwell comes in as one of the key tools.
Cracker with a high-ish tackle there. I mentioned briefly in the introduction that Andrew Cracker on this ground hasn't had great form. His first game of the year, I think, in an Ad Cup game he played quite well, but Spuddy needs to play well here.
No, he does, Brian. The ball bounces a lot more at this ground compared to the MCG.
What is going on here, Spud? I mean, that is 3 times that this bloke has stood in the hole and they've kicked it, not straight at him because that undersells his first two, but that one was a shocker.
Reid, long ball down to Dawes, and once again an opportunity here with Smith. Out wide they come to Rutten, who overran the ball. This gave Cloker just a glimpse of an opportunity which he took. There's McCarthy, absolutely barreled, shoulder tackled in the ground by Rutten, and Rutten's hurt his right shoulder. Right in front of you, David King. What do you think?
Oh, he's hurt, boys, no doubt about that. He looks, he's doubled over now. I think he'll come from the ground shortly.
And it looks like he's injured that right shoulder, as we say. Here's McKernan, been in really good touch. A good find for Adelaide. Harry O'Brien takes the front roll on Dangerfield. Look at the support from side bottom. In one, out the other. Here goes Wood. We'll look for Thomas. Nothing on beyond this, though.
Well, the good news is it looks as if he's going to stay on, Brett Rutten.
Buckley. Goldsack. Little chip over the top to the run of Thomas. The hard-working Dale Thomas on the left looking for Cloak. Did well at the back on that occasion. Thompson knocked to ground, and of course that is Luke Thompson down there in defence.
Yeah, Benny Rutten, he's just still hanging on, and let's have a look at how the injury occurs. And he's just poleaxed his own shoulder, really, just with a shoulder driving tackle.
Coaches always say, Jared, the stronger you tackle your opponent, you won't get hurt.
That's right.
It's not right, is it?
You got to have the right technique.
There's Beams, Dowdy, Pendlebury, fast hands, McCarthy, a little right foot grubber along the ground. Oh, brilliant creativity from McCarthy.
Purely and simply, this is about kicking efficiency, Spud. Crows are just chopping it up, giving it back. They're winning it well, so that's the positive. Neil Craig, I think, would be happy with those elements of the game. But they're trialling a Salah off half-back. He's basically a full forward stroke ruckman. They've got to try and fill that hole that a number of their injuries has opened up. And I guess the absence of Nathan Bock gone to the Gold Coast. But he's, like a lot of them, just giving it back.
So John McCarthy, late replacement.
Adelaide have had 13 kicks, and there's only 2 effective kicks out of those 13. So they're going 15% BT.
Goodness gracious me.
Not great, especially out of your back half.
Ball bounce, that'll almost be recalled. Surely it favoured Jacobs. Umpire said it was okay, fell within the circle. Now an opportunity for Adelaide inside their forward 50, down to a one-on-one contest. Quick handball out here, comes out towards Henderson. He gives it off to Sloane. Sloane turns around, straightens up on the right, and goals. Good response from the Adelaide Crows.
Centre clearance is super important for Adelaide. That's why they're ranked #1 for goals through the corridor. What it does, it puts any defence under the pump. Terrific pick up there, over the top, and Sloane is all good half forwards in the right spot at the right time. Just straightened up on his right foot. He could have kicked on his non-preferred. It was a great pick up from Chris Knights there, over the top. But I love the way he straightened up. All the pressure was coming on his right leg, but he still kicked on his preferred leg, which is fantastic.
Rory Sloane kicks his first goal for Adelaide this year, and Adelaide get their first goal in this one here. Good crowd building too, by the way. I reckon around about 40, maybe a touch over here at the moment, which is great for a one-team town game, I guess, in terms of Collingwood. Here's Riley out of the middle. The Romsey flyer, handball to no one in particular. Shaw did well to shuffle it to Beams. Thomas, good look at the hands. It was great. Gerard liked it, so did we. Opportunity, Harry O'Brien, the kick to ball, perfection.
That is just great ball movement. Started with Heath Shaw, electric hands, and then we saw Harry O'Brien on the reception of another one.
Ball long to the top of the square. Rutten with a punch away from Cloak over the back, got it away.
Kicking so important that Ben Rutten stayed out on the ground. It would have been a massive hole had he gone.
Yeah, it would have changed all the matchups down here. Just then, absolute strength to get a spoil in on Cloak.
Smith got the initial handball off, and Thompson was clobbered in the tackle. Thomas, what a workout, what a kick. Cloak. Now this favours his left boot here. I know he is on the boundary line. It's a tough kick.
And a classic example, BT, of what everybody is trying to avoid against Collingwood. That is a chain of handballs that comes unstuck at the 50 or 60 metre mark. We saw that handball that Thompson wasn't on. Should have been a clearing kick. And now Collingwood have another shot at goal.
What a great view the fans get here. Saw them just in the background. Look at that for a kick. Just offline in the final few metres. Kept it alive.
No.
I think it has to Maxwell.
That's inexcusable, BT. As a defence, you've got to come
Play on.
Runs around, plays on, kick around the corner, hit the timber.
As a defender, one defender or the ruckman had to come in on the 90-degree angle with the flight of the ball. You just see the handball in turnover, Jared.
Well, there it was. It just wasn't on. I mean, you had man on man there. Just a horrible gift.
But have a look at this. That is just inexcusable. Either take the ball or the body. There's 2 Adelaide. The ruckman and the defender didn't get either.
That was a fresh air swing.
Chips in the night.
They do look sharp as right out on the wing there. Could do nothing for Adelaide. Take it over the boundary.
Adelaide looking pretty good as well, BT,
Yep,
by their kicking efficiency. And a couple of just inexcusable errors. But look at their list, look at their experience. They've got some relatively young players out there.
Free kick here for high contact. It'll be Collingwood ball. It'll be McCarthy out there, I think. Will indeed be. Now have a look at this. Wood in the middle there. No one got back to have a look at him. Sloane did well to close it down the end. Well done, Rory Sloane. Got the follow-up ball off half-back. Out of the loop here if they can kick it efficiently. Tip it with the one claw.
Dangerfield deep.
So he go to the one-on-one. He goes to short lead. Dangerfield, as you mentioned, Spud, over the top.
Bad kick.
Once again, the kicking. Tarrant to Reid. Reid's got not much, so it's going to come back yet again. This is Brodie Smith. Goes inside. That's better. Mark taken by Van Berlo. Protection for his back as well.
Well, once again, without being hypercritical, that kick was pretty ordinary and it was only made successful by an enormous mark. There are a couple of other options. They're trying to get along quickly, Spud, but they've still got to maintain possession, and Tippett's kick also was another one that nearly cost them.
Well, composure, especially Harry O'Brien on Dangerfield. You like that match up deep in the square.
Nathan Van Berlo directly in front of goal, shouldn't have any trouble. Adelaide lead this one here at Etihad.
Doing all the hard things Adelaide. They're winning the contested possessions, the clearances, and their ball use is just starting to happen for them. But they made hard work of that because the Tippett kick early had to go, and it was a good pressure here. You just see you've got the ball here. It's just a half kick to space, but we know that they love kicking goals in the corridor. You can see a couple of Collingwood defenders there. Was a great kick from Reid also. He's trying to spot a target. Probably should have went long and wide with that long kick out of defence.
So Adelaide 2 in a row, hit the front by 3 points. Van Berlo gets his first. Harry O'Brien on Dangerfield. Interesting matchup.
Well, they've got him in the goal square, Spud, so they're pretty keen to take Harry O straight back to expose him in a one-on-one.
Okay, out of the middle again. Looking hungry, Douglas, Davis, really clean hands. Great play, Leon Davis, to set this up to side bottom. Right in front of the interchange area, on the left, not such a good kick. Sloane doing well.
What an important player he's become for all the Crows.
Indeed he has. Look at the John Cock penetrating run through the middle, over the Indigenous flag, long ball deep, McKernan's there. Punched away Tarrant. He does that well. Dangerfield and O'Brien go at it. Davis again's got to step through the McKernan tackle, got him high. Lucky to get away with that, the Pies.
Nice start to the match by Chris Tarrant. Under some enormous pressure there with a long bomb in, didn't give away the free kick, got the spoil, and Harry O'Brien gave him great support.
Davis goes wide. Kick fell a little short. Beams timed it better than any other. Back in the side this week, has been out for a couple of weeks, just needs to tidy up the defensive aspects of his game a little more consistent with them. Not that he doesn't do them, just more consistent. At the top, punch away by Jacobs.
There is there, big Sam Jacobs, recruited from Carlton.
Been a good acquisition, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and a big opportunity without Jolly BT to assert himself.
It's the back position here, but still have the height to get over the top. Sure to gather. Pressure from Henderson. And now Blair. Did he have it? He'll throw it in. This venue, certainly the ground, we've been for about 5 or 6 years there where it struggled to come up to shape, but it has been absolutely perfection this year, this ground.
Saw Ian Collins during the week out watering at Spud, just making sure every little bit was manicured, had the scissors out, the nail file out. Just
They had a seminar here before the game where they had, I think, groundsmen from around Australia. They were that proud of it, Jared, and so they should be, because it absolutely looks dynamic at the moment, this service.
It is as good as it's ever been, Kingy.
They need to do something down here in the Collingwood forward line about Graham John Cock. He's loose man in defence at the moment, and that is a disaster. He will rebound with the, more effect than the other guys.
George doing the ruck work. Douglas tried to back out, the boy from Broadford. Now at Adelaide and doing really well.
Banana.
Out of the pack, it was good, Spud, creative.
Oh, what a punch.
Tarrant was there involved.
Sport well today, Tarrant.
Here they go through the middle. Collingwood, a long ball from McCarthy goes down. There was Cracker holding on to Doughty. Yes, the advantage, and there's the man you spoke of, Kingy.
There he is, Brian.
Yep, tidying things up around the back.
Well, they've got Leon Davis as a loose man in defence at the other end of the ground. He needs to get some possession.
He's been going all right, Jared.
Yeah, he's done okay. If you're going to compare him to John Cock, that's going to be the comparison. I know David King is sweating on it.
All right then. Cloak at the back door. Sloan. Here's John Cock. Cracker. Not sure what his intentions were there. Dowdy. The other side. Here they go. Salah sees something downfield in Chris Smith. Takes the mark. Needs to keep going. Went back over the mark. Tippett's made ground here. Good running. Buckley comes up for the double coverage. Well done, Buckley. He had to come off his man there. And here's the loose at the other end.
Maybe just playing a little bit of wide work on Matthew Wright. I think they're trying to free up Heath Shaw. But we know how well they've rebounded over the last few years off half-back the Pies.
The ball spent too long in the air for McCarthy. Need to be lower and more direct. Thompson back inside. Adelaide, Riley. Really good skilled player. Kick wasn't quite what he'd hoped, but it found Tippett over the back.
Well, it wasn't, Brian. He called it beautifully. The kick was meant for Ricky Henderson, I think, and Tippett just had the awareness just to float him behind. But again, it just looks like Adelaide are intent on hitting the corridor at all costs and hoping a player gets there, because this will be their third goal from the corridor in the start of this quarter.
I think a lot of people have learnt from what Geelong did last week, Spud, last Friday night. They keep chipping the ball up, trying to expose various players in one-on-ones.
It's the monster run-up from Tippett, and he hasn't let them down. He's kicked the goal. 3 in a row for Adelaide.
Collingwood would have known going into this game that against their opposition, the Crows are ranked #1 for kicking goals in the corridor. They haven't had a lot of success this year, but that's one thing Neil Craig and his Chargers can hang their hat on, and it's a great ploy if you use the ball well, because what it does, the defenders really can't guard the side, so when you're going down through the middle of the ground, it makes it impossible for the defence to hem you forward into one spot. So that's a terrific team goal.
So if you're Collingwood, Spud, how do you counter that corridor attack from Adelaide?
Well, what you need the ball kicked with a lot of height. So it's the midfielders, Brian, force the Adelaide midfield to kick the ball a lot higher. Don't give them a short pass in the corridor, because that's impossible to stop.
Clearance is always a good start. Smith got it from Thompson. Goldsack working hard. Henderson takes him on the foot race and did really well. Caught up with him in the end, but made some valuable ground. Goldsack didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the coach would say, should you have taken possession there or just tried to keep working the ball around the ground, but in the end went over the line.
Riley with a handball to Yench. Out of the back comes Steele, side bottom. A long ball. Hits the deck, and think that'll be a free to Beams, will it? 60 metres out, it will. Now,
got the paddock working.
Salah got caught giving the ball back, but he went inside and found side bottom. A man that kicked, I think, 10 goals in the TAC Cup Grand Final on this ground.
Yeah, and the man that kicked it from outside the defensive 50 and pushed hard. And it's all about work rate, and Steele side bottom has shown that he's up to the task, up for the challenge. That was a good 150-metre sprint to be involved at both ends.
Yet to play 50 games, this young man has composure and consistency like few, and he comes. Only 35 metres in it. He kicks off to the right.
Well, accuracy or inaccuracy, a bit of an issue for Collingwood. They've had a couple of shots from wide angles, and that's the downside of playing the boundary, I suppose.
There's Kingy's man looking for the give and go. John Cock almost got it back twice. Now Sloan, who's doing some damage as well, goes long and deep. Douglas getting there to break them up. It was well done in the end by Reid, but he left without the ball. Douglas, intelligent player around the corner, who can get on the end of it. Flew for the ball. Gunston didn't come down with it. Unlucky Adelaide. Pendlebury to clear on the counter. McCarthy's got to go. They've got the loose on the wing, Collingwood. Thomas sees that. Ball hung in the air too long, and they now lose that advantage.
Should have been a goal spot at the other end of the ground. They had a genuine chance and really just didn't quite think it through. Terrific defence by the Pies.
Up with the fist was Jacobs. Or was it McKernan?
Yeah, it's McKernan, Brian.
Yep.
Jacobs just went off the ground. Interesting, Jacobs, 9 hit-outs to 1 versus Cameron Wood. He's having a well-earned spell on the bench, so it's up to McKernan to hold his end of the bargain up.
Sean McKernan out of the Calder Cannons footy factory, of course, down there. Beams, Pendlebury, Wellingham, tight traffic. managed to make something out of nothing. Dawes, the swat away. McCarthy trying to just brute force his way through the cellar tackle. Not on. Blair. Beams, all combining. Pendlebury faked the handball, came back with a left from 50 metres out. Long ball, 2-on-1. Collingwood side bottom, used his body well. Watch out for Swan over the back. Here comes Leon Davis as well. Adelaide in the middle of them. Knights did really well. Knights saved the day against the odds.
Just body lined the ball beautifully there, Knights. He's under siege. Side bottom, Millie taking a very good mark there. Chris Knights, good use of the body. You see that, just bodied Swan out. That's no mean feat in itself.
Since he's lifted Steele side bottom this last 6 or 7 minutes, he's been everywhere.
Isn't he ever?
5 kicks to date.
Yep. Just seem to be coming out of their back half too easy here, the Crows. Not getting the press in full use yet, the Pies.
So what do you want them to do then, Kingy?
I think this loose man's causing real problems. They need to go at least one-on-one in their forward line, try and cause a contest.
Swan tries to centre the ball up, and here it comes. This is a bit of what Kingy is talking about. Spud, very easy. Coming out.
No, it is, Brian. And the other thing is the tackles. They're down in their tackles in their forward line, Collingwood. They were ranked 1 in the competition last year, 13 this year.
Here's Yanks.
Yeah, once again, BT heading into the corridor. This is the kick that's lost them.
And that is better, isn't it?
Much better. And every time he's out on that forward 50, got to hit the target, otherwise the rebound factor hurts.
So Tippett now, we know he can kick this distance. He has an incredibly long run up, but he'll have to kick it from about 52 to 53 metres out.
The other thing with the corridor kicks, Jared, one of the Collingwood defenders have to guard that space. Even if it's your direct opponent, play 5 metres in front, force Adelaide to kick the ball in the air, because this is the 4th mark inside their forward 50 in the corridor.
Just want to remind you, boys, this is for 4 Adelaide goals in a row. They are on a roll. Tippett from beyond the arc. Distance not a problem. It's all about accuracy. 2 in a row for Tippett, 4 in a row for the Adelaide Crows.
And I think they needed that one, Spud, just to get genuine outcome for the work rate and their dominance. They've been quite well on top here in this first quarter. They've wasted a number of genuine opportunities going inside forward 50. And, you know, those set shots conversions compared to some misses at the other end can make a major difference.
They're starting to hit the target now. They're going 15% the first 5 minutes, now 55.
Has a spell, the big man, after his 2 consecutive goals. And why not? Kicking efficiency, which the boys have spoken about, for Adelaide is lifted to 55 after initially in the first 7 or 8 minutes being about 15%. Thompson with the clearance. Touch play on, said the umpire. Davis with a hand. Goldsack went back and got him. He was tackled. And another ball up.
Well, what Adelaide are doing, a 3-way rotation. You've got Jacobs now at full forward, McKernan in the ruck, and Tippett. So they've got 3 tools that can all play forward and go in the ruck. So Ben Reid is going to have his hands full.
And only 2 on the ground at any one stage.
That's right. Yep. So they're going to work over the key defenders.
And Burlow. Picked up in the end by Wellingham. Here comes Dawes.
Oh,
over the top. It was indeed. Cracker, lovely tap down Maxwell to the one-on-one now. Here's McCarthy. He's looked dangerous in this game. He was the late replacement.
That was all about starting position, Spud.
Quick play on over the top, and he finds Beams.
Johncock gave him 5 metres and he was beaten by 5 metres.
Ben Rutten's can't wait for quarter time. He's had a bone-crushing tackle, and then Dawes has gone over the top and said, have a piece of this.
Absolutely. He's been belted from pillar to post, but he's still standing. The Tonka toy.
Like a human punching bag at the moment.
There is Beams. One arm foreign to the other. From 25 metres out. Tough angle, not an easy kick. Just inside the right post, and he's sent it left by a long way.
The upside for Ben Rutten now, Brian, he's not worried about his right shoulder anymore. Sorry about Rutten, he's now worried about the 3 broken ribs. Yeah, that's right.
Well, that was a big hit, though. Dawes is 110 kgs. Great coverage from Rutten.
You got what you wanted, Spud. You've got Johncock with a man.
Well, it's good, but Collingwood need to work on their set shots, Brian. Set shots, 0 from 4.
More music down there, Spud. If that's the way that takes their fancy.
Maybe get Kingy down there with a little tranny or something.
Pendlebury. Dawes, Swan kept it alive. And that'll go over the line.
Oh, but you're right, Jared. you know, you look at the game and John Cox starting to run the ball out, and Mick said enough's enough. We need to man him up now.
Got to kill the ball here, Adelaide. Can't afford to give away a cheapie at a clearance.
Not with 2.5 minutes remaining. Wellingham bursts through Gerard. Oh boy, wowee.
Difference between the top sides and those trying to get there. And they knew, Adelaide, that this was what was on offer here and that they had no capacity to stop it. Wellingham came from 10 metres off the pack. The rivers split. The waters split. Have a look at him. He'll come on the screen. There he is on the left. He goes straight through. His opponent just had no capacity to go with him. Ricky Henderson. Look at Ricky. Cost a goal.
Your timing for that call, Gerard, was perfection plus. They needed to make sure they didn't concede, and they did exactly the opposite.
Well, it'll all go down to Ricky Henderson's tape.
And now it's back to 7 points,
Yep.
so the 4 goals in a row almost fades away, doesn't it? Neil Craig looking rather anxious, giving that gum a fearful workout. A couple of minutes to go, just over. Out of the middle, did well. Thompson. Nice knock on by Shorter Davis. Wanted to give and go, he was held. Thomas with a kick that was not his normal. Down to the full, no, it'll be a boundary throw-in in fact, so neutral territory on the outer wing here, the city side wing that he had. Jacobs doing the ruck work. Douglas. Long ball inside 50. Reid trying to push off his man. Dangerfield at the back. Geez, courageous this kid. What a magnificent trap. Left foot kick along the ground. If he could have finished that, that was sensational.
Oh, that was great play. And the thing I like about it, BT, he's on Harry O'Brien and Dangerfield's walking him back to full back. Harry O'Brien doesn't like playing key defensive post. He loves that periphery role around the half-back line.
Here's Riley. Round the corner, tip it back on the ground. Shot at goal for his third of the quarter. Missed. Take a look at this one. Was it out on the full? Dale Thomas argued about it. Well, pretty hard to say from this angle, but it certainly brought up white chalk.
Look a bit of chalk to me, BT.
Yep.
We'll leave that to the boundary umpire, that one.
Right then, Spud. Buckley.
At the back.
Maxwell infringes.
We put a saddle on him.
His timing wrong in a big way there, Nick Maxwell. Malthouse down on the bench as well, coaching there at the moment, issuing instructions within about 10 metres of where this kick has been taken.
And Cameron Wood has done really well for Collingwood. He is in the hole, in the corridor. You can just see him in the top of the screen there. It's great positioning.
Scott Thompson having a blinder.
Yep, doing really well. Most possessions on the ground. He's 10th. The kick in there towards McKernan. Shaw. He's got to beat a couple. Davis tried to steal it off his teammate there to help him out. He wanted nothing of it. Tippett got up. Did he throw the ball?
Yeah, he did, Brian. Great tackle.
So Collingwood live to fight another day.
Good to see the umpires cracking down on the throws, BT. It was getting a little bit embarrassing for the last few weeks, and I think they've now upped the ante. It's professional sport. We're not supposed to just give free kicks away for trying.
Your influence is unbelievable, Gerard. You've been speaking about that all week. What do you make of this one?
Well, it was a great pick-up from Tippett, BT, but a very good tackle from Harry O'Brien. You can see he was trying to get the ball on his right foot. There's a throw.
Over the back, Jacobs. Onto the run there. Was right. Out the back door, McKernan. Just tackles he went to kick. Now, Harry O'Brien under pressure from Dangerfield. He's feeling it. The left side of the body under pressure worked in the end.
Did well, Harry.
To Cracker. Got time, 19, Wellingham, out of the loop, here they go, Collingwood, Maxwell, 13 seconds, need a mark.
Well done, Martin.
Oh, really well done, well rode by Blair. Adelaide stand up when it mattered in the last couple of seconds. And I think that'll be just about it, although a mark here would count. Over the back, the kick will count. He got it away before the siren, he's hit the post. And the behind will stand. Cracking first quarter of football. It's all business for Mick Malthouse. Adelaide out of the gates quick here, and they lead it by 7 points. Stay with us. More on the other side of the break.
Form in the ruck. He's been outstanding against Cameron Wood.
Well, let's have a look at the big man here as they go head to head. Jacobs and Wood. The clear win there to Jacobs, and the clearance Goes with Thompson yet again. So Adelaide to the right of screen here. Opportunity for them to win it at ground level. Davis bowls over one. Sharp handball out to Douglas. He knew he was going to be tackled. There is Dangerfield. Good hands, Thompson. Hasn't he been good? Left foot around the corner. Good ball. Mark taken by Brodie Smith.
Started the quarter beautifully. Again, you're going to be accurate when you keep having shots from directly in front.
He's yet to kick a goal in his brief 8-game career. Brodie Smith. This one's directly in front, 35 metres out. There it is, the task ahead, and he doesn't let it slip. Adelaide extend their margin to 13.
Centre clearances are the most important stat in league football, and that's where Collingwood have dropped off the last couple of weeks without Darren Jolly. They win the centre clearance, they keep the ball alive. There was Dangerfield there, just keeping the ball alive, just the lack of tackling pressure again from Collingwood. And again, it's in their DNA to look inboard, kick the ball to space, and hopefully a teammate gets on the end of it. And that's what team-orientated play goes around. Collingwood play around the boundary line. Adelaide own the corridor.
It's of vital importance, the first use out of the middle, and that's what you're referring to as Jolly, isn't it? Getting first hands on it.
Oh, Jacobs has been outstanding, BT. Hit outs in the first quarter. Jacobs 10, Wood 1. Cameron Wood 1.
Jacobs on the left there. This time the bounce favours Wood, but he will have that one recalled. There was one in the first quarter that was almost identical that wasn't recalled by Brett Rosebery there. Shane McInerney, in fact, it is. I'm sorry. This time he throws it up, as the rule suggests. Wood did well, avoided the contact and got the clearance.
Oh, that's a
throw. Should have been, wasn't picked up in the end. Adelaide on the attack once again. Good ball, tip it out in front. Got the Dukes out, I like that. Reid, pressure around the corner. Comes in towards McKernan. Now got to beat him here. Tarrant did well. And let's have a look at this for you, Jared. One that got away.
Yeah, the umpires have been right onto this this weekend, and that one clearly was just incorrect disposal.
Just the umpire unsighted on that one. Over the top. Went Tippett with a big fly, knocked it down. Riley with some sharp hands. Davis helps it over the line along with Wright. Leon Davis has been a revelation since going into defence. He looks much more at ease with himself in his game. Over the back, Jacobs picked up by Thompson for yet another ball. High ball inside 50. McKernan working for the body position.
I mean, it's a tough one on the umpires. If the ball gets knocked out by the force of the tackle, well, then they've got to distinguish whether it is a throw or whether or not it is just a force of the tackle. But if you've got control, I think, and you let it go with one arm, you're in trouble.
Davis got rid of it in the nick of time to Wood. Wood goes out wide. Two Adelaide players collide this week. Three Collingwood players standing. Cloak gathers. He's got nothing on downfield, so that's why he had to put the kick there. It was his only option. Off hands. Here's Cracker. Got an open goal square. Oh, boy.
They've been wasteful inside forward 50, the prize. 2 goals, 6 now. Number of the shots you'd expect to go straight through.
Just want to look at Jacobs' full bag of tricks here. He is on fire. Just flicks the ball over the back. Just worked his ruckman under the ball beautifully to Scotty Thompson.
Spud forming a love affair with Jacobs at the moment. Here he is. Spud, got any other kind words of encouragement for the big man?
I'm just trying to give a young player a little bit of encouragement, BT. Just find his way for Adelaide.
You do have a habit of falling in and out of love with big men. I know, one moment you're on Jonathan Brown's bandwagon, the next minute you're not.
Well,
that's a good one.
I've always been on his bandwagon, Brian, especially last night.
There's McKernan, round the corner. High ball knocked away from Smith. It hits the deck. Riley was there, went half rat power. Side bottom now, loose in the middle. Cracker, over the top to Blair. Got the running Buckley. He wasn't sure what to do. Handball a bit iffy. Drew Dawes back. Collingwood on the press here at the moment. Ordinary handball back to Cloak. Got to go and get it, reload. Little kick to Blair in the pocket. Now he's got the left to right slider from this pocket.
And therein lies the danger of that kick going into the middle of the ground from McKernan. Gets a rebound. It was an average kick. I mean, the coach will say it's not the strategy, it's the actual disposal that really cost them. Have a look at this. I mean, it's an up and under. It's a mongrel of a kick, really. And good defence and straight down the middle.
Left to right slider from this position. Blair comes in. Kick on the way. There it is. Slides off, hits the post. And Not kicking well at the moment, the Pies.
Well, that's 5 set shots, Brian, for 5 behinds. Not a great return at all. And that's frustrating.
2 goals 8 to 5 goals 1. Doesn't that tell a story of the scoreboard? 2-8 to 5-1. Pretty wet conditions in Melbourne outside this venue. Lovely to have the roof shut.
It's been their great weakness, Kingy, getting the ball out of the defensive area. They do look as if they're going more defensive this time round, the Crows.
They do. They have hardly laid a tackle in their forward 50. The Pies, 1 for the game.
Swan thought about going around the corner, wanted the touch kick over the top to Maxwell. Didn't get all of it. Now Riley's got to think his way through. That is just a magnificent kick from Riley. Davis lost sight of the ball. Handball comes further afield. Here they go once again. The Yench kick goes in 50. Dangerfield has been paid the mark.
Again, we're watching Harry O'Brien. He's very comfortable up the ground, Harry, but he becomes very, very reactive.
So why don't they swap? Why don't they do a swap?
Well, Tarrant's on the tall. He's either on Griffin, and they're trying to keep it tall down there. And maybe it's Harry O'Brien playing the tall. I'd much rather see Harry out of the goal square, Brian, because he doesn't look comfortable at all on Dangerfield, who, of course, kicked the PB last week, 6 goals.
And here he is, lining up for his first today. He's directly in front, only 20 metres out. This to extend the margin to 17 points for Adelaide, who look fired up and ready to play. Dangerfield drops in, doesn't let his team down. Adelaide now, as that gentleman almost fell over the top deck, by 17 points.
And that was the beauty of Simon Pescadjuri-Como. He had the speed to play small or tall. And again,
look at this kick. Just trying to be a little bit cute there, but I love Brent Riley's kick. I think it was him.
Yes, it was.
Look at this. It's just enormous vision to a bloke breaking down the centre corridor. Did well.
No, that's magnificent vision. Outside the corridor, looked in outboard. We just saw Harry O'Brien there. That's the reactive talk I'm talking about. Playing reactive to the situation.
Dangerfield got the goal, but the Romsey flyer, Brett Riley, just a magnificent kick through the middle. Nicely timed, setting that up. Wood, Thomas, clean clearance, cracker, long ball. Dawes and the big boys line up. Pendlebury was there as well. Wellingham went without it. As Beams slid the handball sideways. Here's Sloan, been impressive today. Rutten's there. John Cock went without it, stripped. Beams, cloak. Thompson's now got to do it. Save the day, Thompson. Very experienced campaigner.
Got to get a couple of their playmakers into the game. Thomas just 7 possessions. He's Shaw just a couple.
Douglas kicks down the line to a 2-on-1. Jacobs is there. Spud's in love with him. Goldsack driven into the ground. High ball. Here comes Dowdy looking for the counter. They're on. Look at the open field through the middle of the ground. This is good play by Adelaide once again. The kick goes long and deep by Thompson. And the mark's taken by Tippett.
Quickly get it on. There's a spare there. He's taken the responsibility. Good luck. The other one, Pendlebury. No touches this quarter. 6 in the opener. Start winning the footy at the moment, the Pies.
Well, they're, as Kingy talked about, that forward press, normally an Adelaide player's kicking over the fingernails or got a lot of frontal pressure on them. Adelaide have got no pressure forward to the centre, which makes it so easy and hard for the Collingwood defenders to man up because they've got too much time and space to kick to advantage.
Same routine every time with this guy. Tippett, like it. 35 out, not a lot of angle about it. There it is. Tippett for his 3rd goal. And I think he's got it. Looks pretty good. Is it a little left? No, it's there. Adelaide by 23 points.
Well, this time last year, goal kicking was killing the Adelaide Crows. Today, it's been one of their great strengths. And Kurt Tippett, well, he was one of the main problems last year.
If you look at his run-up and his preparation, Jared, it is identical every time. Same thing.
He's having a very nice day. Look at him. He comes back. They're both winning on the Dunstall duckback spot. Used to get you occasionally, not often, but occasionally.
Kicked 4 in a row in the first quarter. Tippett got 2 of those, and now they've kicked 3 in a row in this second quarter, and Tippett's got his 3rd.
But you can afford to double lead when your opponents or your teammates coming through the corridor, because then you've got time and space. You go left or right. If you're going wide around the boundary line, the defender can hem you in to an area on the ground, and that's why Tippett's on fire.
Well, we're going to see Maxwell back in the back half.
May well before the game's out, Jared. Side bottom to Beams. Beams around the corner, just talking the ball high. Have a look at that. 3 on 1 Adelaide, 2 in the air, and John Cock had the ground level ball covered.
Well, I'd like to see Maxwell at least as a loose opponent. Put him 30 metres out, directly in front. At least make the Adelaide midfield think about kicking the ball to the area that's really smashed Collingwood at the moment in this game.
I mean, it's really interesting, the thought process of Mick Malthouse and the Pies. I mean, they've obviously got this in mind for down the track, for him as an individual and for the team, and they're going to persist with it for a period of time.
There's Tarrant through the middle. An opportunity for the haircut. Pendlebury goes long and deep, but without great direction. Yench out the other side, looking for and finding Salah. James Salah goes straight down the line quickly. Dangerfield should have called his man Henderson back there. Trying to sneak up behind him.
Again, Brian, that's a fast counter-attack out of your full-back area. The Pies just can't lay a glove on the counter-attack situation from the Crows.
And that's what happens. I reckon sides against Collingwood now, Kingy, what they're doing in Collingwood's forward line, when they get it, they just kick it as long and as deep as they can, so Collingwood don't get a chance to apply forward pressure.
Well done, Chris Tarrant, left his man and made a very big play here.
Davis got the give and go back from Tarrant, trying to create some run. He's a good user. That one's over the head. Rutten was able to take his man Cloak under the ball. Dowdy caught in the tackle. Did he have it? Cloak tries to back out. He certainly had it. And Rutten copped another one in the head. He's got one in the shoulder, one in the guts, and now one in the head. And he's standing and not complaining. I like the man.
Yeah, that's what you get from your key defenders, Brian. Good, strong body language.
Spud, you would have been sooking it up by now. Cry baby Spud. Out of there goes Sloane.
I'll tell you what, Mick Mulder's got an issue.
There it is. The battering ram continues to be battered.
Yeah, good on him. But Heath Shaw's only had the 2 disposals. I think the run and carry from Heath Shaw, they're lacking that run and that clean disposal out of the back half. Good defensive role on Heath Shaw.
Harry's got himself loose here now. This is Collingwood as they like it.
Got a Paddock. What can he do?
A lot of numbers in there.
Too short for Blair. Can John Cock create the counter? He's looking to move it. I think he's just about got it complete. Sloane, Dowdy, they have to go backwards to go forward. Douglas had the ball knocked away. Pressure applied here by Collingwood at the moment, enormous.
Probably boundary line would suit them.
Pendlebury. And he's eventually dragged over in a match of strength there. So Collingwood for the first time have some time in their forward end of the ground. Through their pressure skills. Wood was good over the back. Thomas went without it. Wood socketed out of the area. Van Berlo and Beams go. Off hands in the end. Thompson. Beams again around the corner. McCarthy needs a good bounce. A knockdown of McCarthy gathers. Thought about one. Got caught with the ball. It was good. Douglas was great.
Fierce. They have highlighted the fact that their tackles have been right down coming into the match, Spud. Their defensive backs have been poor, but not today.
But have a look at this. The press from Collingwood. We're seeing work for the first time today. They've locked it in here for 3 or 4 minutes, but haven't been successful in scoring. Goldsack, in the end, will just have to go long. Pretty ordinary kick. He was hoping Cloak was drawn to the pocket.
Okay, same situation. Clearance close to goal. It's been a great strength of Collingwood's over the last couple of years. Adelaide have got just about every person in their defensive 50, so there shouldn't be any space.
Let's have a look at it, the stoppage. Offhand Swan. So often the person involved in that stoppage deep for Collingwood. Thompson, who's playing a ripping game here. He's had 17 touches of the ball already. Tarrant to ball, and Collingwood get another chance. They reload for the 4th consecutive time. High ball on the head of Blair. Probably won't get it done in the air. Dowdy.
Got to get it across the other side of the ground if possible.
Riley to Thompson.
Well, good mark.
He's got it on the yard. He's had 9 contested possessions also at BT and 6 clearances, Scotty Thompson.
Gee, what a great game. Now Collingwood extend the press back. Can they work their way through at Adelaide? Sloane dropped the mark. Probably should have taken
Too easy, though.
I think it was going to clear the pack. Here's Dangerfield. Tucked it under the arm. Went with the gyro. Popped it forward.
Oh, look at this.
And the mark taken in the end there by Gunston. Norm goes over the top. High ball. Taken. Mark. Run. Smith to the open goal. Got it. Adelaide against the tide.
Kingy, like you to come in on this one, because I reckon that was the most significant goal that they have kicked today, the Crows, because it was against the full press. And I'm not sure they were playing the full press in the first part, more man-on-man in defence. But, gee, to work it around the boundary line and get it through was an excellent goal.
I couldn't agree more, Jared. 19 inside 50s for the Crows for 8 goals won. That is a huge return.
Smith finishes with a goal. 4 in a row. Smith gets his first there. First of his career, in fact, as well. 4 in a row. They lead it by a game-high margin of 29, Adelaide. Just under 10 in the first half remaining. Outstanding performance from the Adelaide Crows. Ball with his head over it. Have a look at the numbers there. 5, 6 on 2 for Adelaide.
They're hunting the ball. There's no doubting that, BT.
That's the third goal from counter-attack, boys. So the press is either not being imparted or not working at this stage.
It's David King on the boundary. A slow play here. Swan not looking good. In fact, he's going to come from the ground, so he's already got the lower left quad taped.
And he's a significant part of the problem as well, BT, not having much of an influence, along with Sidebottom in this quarter. He was brilliant early. Luke Ball not getting much of it. Hook Shaw not getting much of it.
Running on it like it's a bit of a corky there. Thomas picks it up, goes long and deep. Cracker at the back. Did he interfere? Yes. So that's a significant injury, David King, Dane Swan.
He's just come to the bench now. He's having a conversation with the coaches, just taking a rest. I think it's some sort of cork, boys.
They're talking with a couple of doctors there as well, so he's in some trouble. Van Berlo has Sloan, who's been ultra impressive today. Little chipper along the sideline to John Cock. The run over the top. Here he is. Riley, one of the best users in the comp. Good-looking ball. Henderson. Knock of the arms from Shaw. And Henderson will get the free within range.
He's fine, Swan, boys. He's back up, coming back onto the field now.
How do we get Heath Shaw into the game, Kingy? 3 disposals.
Well, I think they've got to put him... I'd put him forward. I'd put him on Graham Johncock. They both play a similar game as defenders, owning space. Maybe that could be the challenge.
Henderson. Deep in the Crows forward 50 for an unbelievable 35-point lead. That's a good-looking ball just offline.
That's amazing, BT. That's their first set shot missed. Just have a look at the Swan injury. See how it eventuated. Oh, yeah, just a good hip and shoulder into the leg. Half a corky. It's on his other leg as well.
On the other leg, you're quite right, Spud.
But set shots, 6 goals, 1. Adelaide, Collingwood 5 behinds.
Davis with a pinpoint pass to Thomas.
He's the one that's looking a little bit dangerous this last 4 or 5 minutes.
Thomas down the line to Maxwell. So this is what Collingwood do well. Haven't seen a lot of it here today. Skipper back into the Collingwood lineup.
They've lined up on this side of the ground.
Harry O'Brien kicked the read. Look at Dangerfield. Close it down and made him go around the mark.
Got to get the boundary line to hold this up here, the pipe.
Keeps going. Thought about Beams. He went to the contest with Pendlebury instead. Pendlebury now the little flick out to Beams. He'll work it back inside. Swan free over the top. Good vision. Well worked out by Collingwood.
Well picked up from David King. He was only off the ground for about 5 seconds.
Yep.
And Adelaide did not pick him up. Can't afford to let a player of Swan's ability free at any stage.
Swan, tough kick. It's the toughest kick at this ground from this quadrant, at this part of the ground. Swan comes in. And there it is, that little left to right fade in the end, but he was worried about it. Just got to kick it hard at the left goalpost. And some concerned Collingwood fans at the moment.
Especially in front of goal. They have had 5 more inside 50s to pose. 6 behinds from 6 set shots.
At the top here, so I'll just say that again, how many shots?
6.
And inside 50s?
That's right, inside 50. And they haven't kicked a goal. 6 behinds. Adelaide, 6 goals, 1. Ooh. That's the difference at the moment.
Spud's on fire today, statistically, Spud. Good to see.
Spent a lot of time last night preparing, Brian.
Good boy.
Like we all do.
Been good, this kid, Sloan.
No, he...
The back, Douglas. held up in the tackle. Smith, his first goal in this quarter in footy. Chris Smith in his 18th game.
John Cock just off the play, so it means Collingwood's got a spare. Heath Shaw is also loose behind play.
But Heath Shaw's not hurting him at the moment, Jared.
Not at the moment.
Tarrant will get a free here against McKernan.
And it's scoreboard dependent as well. The score's the other way. There's no doubt Heath Shaw will be manned up, but Adelaide hold the ascendancy.
Swan in the pack. Douglas around the corner did well, so out of trouble here again, Adelaide, but it goes back to that same contest, and Tippett did well to deny Shaw the ball.
Yeah, they're just edging it up the ground, and Heath Shaw not happy again. I think he's asking Ben Reid, why did he allow Tippett to get through?
Umpire sweating there. Boy, his green shirt, he's really sweated up.
Jeez, they've got 2 extras in defence now, which means Collingwood's got to have an advantage around the stoppage.
McCarthy, Dowdy. Boundary line's probably a win for him.
It's interesting with Didak being the substitute. You think what Collingwood needs is a spark, and that spark could be Alan Didak, but the roll of dice means you have to take someone off that's fit to bring him on.
Bit early for mine, Spud.
No, it is, but I'm just saying, Jared, you're looking at Didak's name, and as a coach, you'd say, gee, he could actually get us going, Didak. I know they won't put him on, but
I think the big picture story there for the Tigers is they're going to stick to their plan. Three-quarter time, they might look at it maybe just before the kick by Yench.
Henderson run hard.
Well.
Rutten goes out to that man, Henderson. Shaw made late ground. Really hard running by both of those players, and Shaw did well.
We've made him defend all day, Heath Shaw, and that's the way you need to play Heath Shaw. Force him to defend. It was a great sport from Shaw, but what they're not getting is a lot of run from the Collingwood half-back.
Knights on his favoured left side. Centering ball, danger, danger, danger here for the Pies. Tippett got back. Had a good contest. Off hands,
Right
Dangerfield, tackled by Harry O. Incorrect disposal, says the umpire.
Geez, that's a good tackle.
Well, he's done a very good job, Harry O'Brien. Only 4 disposals, Dangerfield.
Davis's kick wasn't good, but Cracker tidied it up somehow. There's Wellingham. That kick's not good either. Rutten.
Jacobs in the middle.
Finds him. Adelaide through some traffic, and the kick is good to Douglas. Can he go the journey? He'll have to kick it basically from on that white line there.
Hasn't their confidence grown by foot, Adelaide? From the first 10 minutes of the game, they were turning the ball over at will. Now they're just hitting every free target.
29 points, Adelaide's lead at the moment. This would be a dagger to the heart of Collingwood with 4.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Richard Douglas directly in front. It's all about the distance here. Kick will just be a little left and perhaps even a mild metre or two short. Umpire Chelsea Roffey says just the one behind.
Harry O'Brien's tackle once again. This is just great technique. Got into the ground. Got the free kick. Right now they need a lift from some players. Chris Dawes in particular, a guy who we've all admired the way he's improved over the last few years, BT, just has not got near it.
No, it hasn't looked like it in the air.
Salah's done a pretty good job on him.
A very good job, Jared. Only the one disposal, no marks for Chris Dawes.
Goldsack goes long and high and quick.
This has been a good battle as well.
Rutten and Cloak.
Rutten, well, he's done the job. Cloak could have kicked a couple, but at this stage, he's yet to open his account.
He's been mauled physically today, Ben Rutten, and he just has not taken one backward step. Wood in front. Little flick handball by Gunston out of the loop. Here
That's
they
too
go
easy.
again. Adelaide once again with Wright kicking the ball forward. Tippett's the target. The hands in the back, I think. A hold, said the umpire. It wasn't in the back, it was a hold.
It was a beautiful kick.
Reid keeps it low to Pendlebury. Pendlebury wide to the man Gerard spoke of, Dawes. Look where he gets possession, half back. Swan. They want to keep it going boundary. There's the little present up ball to Cracker. They do this so well. And look at John Cox slipping in the hole just to the left there, so they can't go boundary. Have to go over the top. Rutten
Well
and
done,
Cloak.
Rutten.
They
We did it
switched on.
beautifully. Let's have a look at this free at the other end with Kirk, Tippett and Reid.
No ruckman for the Collingwood side. None at all. I think Chris Dawes is now going to ruck because Wood's just come from the ground.
Not sure where the hold was there.
No, I think that was a pretty good mark from Tippett.
Smith
Look at Sloan break the space.
to Yench to Sloan. And Collingwood hold them up here.
And that's unlike Collingwood. David King's been on.
But that's what they're doing,
Yeah,
Scott.
exactly.
It's one long kick out of Collingwood's forward line, avoid all the pressure skills, and then we'll think about what we do.
That's right. Normally, you know, the last couple of years you've tried to run out with hands, which plays into Collingwood's hands. Handball.
How often have we seen Collingwood applying lots of forward pressure where they force a turnover? Hardly ever, because the other sides don't let them do it anymore.
That's a great kick.
Harry O'Brien.
Oh, great
Tackled by
tackle.
Wright. Incorrect disposal. Free kick right.
Well, there's the game. That's what we normally see from Collingwood up the other end. Just the forward line pressure. Harry O'Brien gets the ball. All right, I'll look up. I'll deliver a ball. But the pressure skills from Adelaide, King, they've been terrific.
They have, and they're playing a perfect counter-punch football game at the moment. They've gone inside 50 only the 24 times for 8 goals. That's 1 in every 3. Normally, it's about 1 in every 6. They look dysfunctional down back at the moment, the players.
There is Wright with a 35-metre kick. And that is to the right-hand side. A big miss for Adelaide. A chance to go 36 points in front there. In fact, they've had 2 chances to do that.
I don't often see Collingwood come back to the corridor the way they did it just then. Bad turnover. I think you'll see it too many more times.
You can already see sides. I know that Collingwood are working towards the end of the season, but starting to work their strategies out and combat them. You can see it here today. Adelaide have put a lot of thought into the way that they're playing Collingwood.
Well, Adelaide invented the run and carry with handball. You know, a couple of years ago, Adelaide would have more handballs than kicks. Today, they're going 102 kicks, only 68 handballs. So they're kicking the ball more, Adelaide.
Maxwell kept it moving. Blair wanted to keep it rolling as well, but the Adelaide numbers overwhelming. Good smother in the end by the Pies. Here goes the handball. Watch the kick. Rutten beautifully placed to Dowdy. Davis not letting him play on. Hold up while the press gets in play behind him.
He doesn't need to hurry. He's just going to waste time now. They can bank this lead at half-time and start again.
Under a minute remaining in the half. Jacobs and Harry O'Brien there.
This is what you don't see too often from Collingwood. Ben Reid across half-back. I mean, there was a man there. It was side-bottom. It was a shocking kick and opened them up. Should have been a goal against.
We could be furious at that, going against the team philosophy, I would have thought. Here's Cracker to Davis, who was basically had a man hanging off him. 30 seconds left. What can Collingwood do here? Shaw can see Goldsack on. Here they go. This would be a disaster for Adelaide to let an easy one through here. Goldsack goes long and deep. Cloak's got to go over the top. John Cock, Cloak, off hands, side bottom, goal! Touched off the boot. No goal. Touched off the boot. Side bottom celebrating, said, what for?
He looks surprised, side bottom. Normally you get an indication that it's been touched, but he thinks he kicked the goal. Let's have a look.
Did it hit the post, Bob?
No, he said it was touched. That wasn't touched. He touched the body. And I think a goal umpiring decision that we might take another look at a little bit later on. Side bottom looks miffed, but nevertheless, Adelaide Crows, how exciting are you? 30-point leaders at half-time, 8-4-52 to Collingwood 2-10-22. Ben Reid in defence, Maxwell's gone to defence as well. You like that, Spud?
I do like Maxwell back there, Brian, as long as he's not at key defence at full back. It'll be interesting to see where Adelaide put him.
Well, looks like McKernan is dragging him back into that position as we speak. Tippett, as a result, has been pushed up the ground a little. Here's Reid and Tippett fighting for it at ground level.
Yeah, you see Nick Maxwell out of the goal square now, and that's smart from McKernan. Just pretty tough when you're coming back from injury. You've got to play reactive football. You see on the left of screen there. But he's sure, yeah, running back as well.
Just speaking of Lee Matthews, he's always one that says you don't get a premiership hangover in rounds 1, 2 or 3. They always come about mid-season.
A bit more comfortable with yourself. Crack a good little handball give and Collingwood into attack.
That's his first grab, Brian, and that's what you want. You know, you haven't had a great first half. You take a good contested mark, The kick was to his advantage. And there, just for his confidence and just to settle the Collingwood, the fabric of the team, to give him some confidence.
Quick hands by Dawes to Wellingham. He is a great kick, Dawes. He does everything in a nice straight line. His preparation, everything is very upright, very straight. Ball hold is good. He's about 45 metres out directly in front. Kick on the way. Looks pretty good. Collingwood get one in the first half minute.
Great start from Collingwood. Great start. Great mark from Dawes. The key to that marking situation was Sellers been able to get a run and jump on Chris Dawes. And what Dawes did, he used his body strength to pin him down. You just have a look. Dawes feeling for the body, keeping Seller down. Seller wouldn't be too over that secondary effort. That's a good, strong mark. And more importantly, that is their first goal from a set shot. 1 goal, 6 now. And that'll give everyone a lot of confidence. Beautiful kick. Great start for the Pies and more importantly, Dawes.
We're in the third quarter, and that's Collingwood's first goal since the 25-minute mark of the first quarter.
Patrick Dangerfield into the centre. Played the full first half as a small forward or a smallish forward.
Back to a 24-point margin. Out of the middle, Collingwood looking for a couple of clearances. Beams is working really hard in low. Riley wrapped him up in a suplex tackle. Some artwork on the thigh there of Dane Beams as well.
Scott Thompson, who's so dominant in that first half in the middle, he's the one who's gone forward, and he plays that role really well as a small full forward.
Jacobs, Swan looks urgent. Looked like he received some sort of injury in the first half. Penalty with a give to Thomas, needs to be quick. Douglas just rams him into the deck. Aggressive stuff from Richie Douglas.
It's also been an interesting duel. 24 hit-outs, Jacobs only a 13 to Wood. So he's had the advantage in these ball-ups.
Another one to Jacobs, your man, Spud. Dangerfield, Swan around the corner. There's Tarrant in front. Dowdy copped him. Tarrant will get back up, but now Salah's got to do it at ground level. He was always concerned about it. Did he get rid of it? He sucked it back in. The umpire let it go a long time. They live here, the Adelaide Crows.
Bit of pressure from Collingwood.
Riley ran past it on that occasion, did Smith as well. Look at the Collingwood numbers all of a sudden. Pendlebury give it to the right foot of Buckley. He said, no, I'm going to get back on my left. Now I'll give to you. Buckley from the pocket. Great ball, touch to the line, was it?
Goal.
Goal it is to Buckley. Collingwood 2 in 2 minutes.
The intensity's really lifted Collingwood. You can see it, BT, just in front of us. The manic tackling, they were winning the hard ball, and they thought it through beautifully. Pendlebury knew that Buckley was always on his right side, and he just drew the Adelaide player to perfection. And you call it magnificent. You could see Buckley in front of him, just drawing the Adelaide player out of the back line to open it up. That is very clever play. That's the basketball background from Scott Pendlebury there. Great vision.
You make a great comment, Spud. That is the basketball background of Pendlebury there to draw that player and give to Buckley for the finish. Just a very smooth, in-control play from Pendlebury. Collingwood back with 18 after successive goals here early in the third. Look how desperate they are out of the middle.
It's a different team.
Absolutely, ball head over it, bulldozed his way through. Now Adelaide have got to respond. Free kick their way.
There was a suggestion prior to the injury to Nathan Brown that Chris Tarrant was coming over and he could well play forward a lot for Collingwood. Well, he's getting his opportunity now, BT. Maxwell back, Tarrant forward.
Okay, and I think that's for the first time this year, Jared. I think we're going to see that. There's Dowdy in the middle. One of the old campaigners. A drilling ball out in the lead of Tippett. Reid got a fist there. It's all Adelaide. Thompson, the star of the first half for Adelaide. Composure around the corner. Dangerfield's got a free.
Jared picked that one. It was a beautiful move from Dangerfield. That's not advantage because the umpire's called time on. Started in the midfield, Dangerfield, and then went back and said to Harry, well, I'm going to walk you back to full back again. He hasn't had a great impact, Dangerfield, but he's kicked the 1 goal, only the 4 disposals. You just see the hand over the shoulder from Harry. Now, it's
this
amazing.
Is a vital shot at goal, Spud.
Well, it is. It's amazing. Harry O'Brien on the wing wouldn't give that free kick away. But out of the square, you become very twitchy and very nervous, very reactive.
Dangerfield with a big kick because Adelaide need to respond immediately.
Yeah, I think you can argue it's the most important kick of the match to date. They've just got to now suck some of this momentum back.
Tough angle.
Collingwood have grabbed.
30 metres is the kick distance, but it is a tantalising angle. Dangerfield comes in, caresses the ball through. Great control, Patrick Dangerfield.
Well, he is a fantastic shot at goal, this young bloke. Around the grounds, he gets a lot of ball under pressure, which sometimes makes his efficiency stats not look as good as possible. But this spud was the perfect kick for the perfect moment.
It was one of the better kicks of the day. A lot of pressure. Collingwood have come out of the blocks in the third quarter. Just kicked 2 in a row, and they needed that for their self-belief. That's what you need. Very good kick. Kick 6 last week, another 2 today.
Well, I shouldn't say he'll get chaired off today, Paddy Dangerfield. It is his 50th game, and I don't believe in chairing them off for 50, Gerard, but he has been superb, this kid.
He's been a great recruit, without question. Came over to Adelaide as a youngster. I think he played his first game, was it 17?
Came through the Geelong Falcons down there under the nurturing care of Mick Turner, of course.
Well, don't hand that 32 out to anyone, Brian.
No, they don't. Of course, the masked man, Mark Rashudo. And there is a free. It'll go to John Cock.
He's playing pretty well, is Graham John Cock. I reckon he should have tackled, but he bumped and followed up with the tackle.
Here's Jacobs. Got the mark, Sloan.
Good running.
It was. Involved with Smith, the finisher, Downey. The chiseler got him. Knights on his favoured left side from this angle will help.
It's amazing their forward set up. You've got Griffin and Tippett at the top of the square. So they've got the bailout kick in the corridor. They've been doing that all day. And now they're playing outside the corridor because Collingwood are just assuming that Adelaide, like they did in the first half, are going to bomb the ball to the corridor.
Playing loose, but
yep, no doubt.
Talk about destroy the confidence that Collingwood have gained here in the third. If this is a goal, it will do that. Knights from where Dangerfield was, perhaps to the near side, a miss.
He just didn't strike that one well. It was a mum off the boot. And the press is on from the Crows. Geez, they're active on the marks, but you can just see the spirit, the enthusiasm of the Crows. I haven't seen them defend like this before.
Got the barrel.
Kicks out wide and looks for Salary, knocks it forward. A lot of Adelaide players around this number. Thomas has got to fight against the odds until the cavalry arrive. Salah did well. He was desperate at ground level. Ball almost flicks out the back. It was like a rugby union scrum, wasn't it?
It was. It was a big floating barrel. I've always believed you get 2 fists on a ball, you should mark it, especially if no one's in front. Salah, you just see Salah here now. He should have marked that. There's no one in front, just a double fist.
Well, he looked deep into the defensive book that you wrote, Spud, and he said, no, this is what Danny Frawley would have done.
I did probably err on the side of percentage played behind, but there was no one in front. Like, normally it's one of the big bonzers like you in front of me where you could actually have a crack at the squirrel, but no, he should have marked the ball.
Oh, boy, Spud. Here's Davis and Sloan. Thomas just wobbled one up towards the wing. It's one-on-ones everywhere. Dowdy got belted off the ball. In they come. The fast little legs of Blair. A brilliant kick to Tarrant. Hardly had to break stride. Needs to bring around. Remember, he's a left footer. He wants to get onto the left. A little poke around the corner to Dawes. Oh, Dowdy, well done. Involved in the original contest on the wing. Got back with a magnificent hand. I won't say it's of God, but it was magnificent.
Brilliant football all round. The transition from Collingwood to getting it to Tarrant.
50 metres.
And then geez, that was desperate defence by all Crows. Probably the best game of footy we've seen from the Crows for some time, BT.
Thompson plays on. Thomas got a hand there. It won't be a mark. Knights wants to get back onto the left.
Yeah, he had Sloan in the corridor, BT. You called it. He's left-footed. I understand that, but...
Yeah, but he's closed off the angle going back onto his left. He had to go. He opened up the space. The Pies player was smart. He was covering the left foot, so it had to be a right foot kick.
Sloan was on his own, 30 metres out from goal.
Harry O'Brien quickly plays on to Davis. They go nowhere with that move. Now Davis has got to be creative. Is that free kick against Harry O'Brien?
No, Harry's too close to the mark.
Okay. He was worried for a moment.
He was.
Got James Salah down, now picking up Craig, leaving Ben Rutten deep as the spare. He's probably not the bloke you want as a spare man.
Got a bit of urgency about this game. Always has had from Adelaide's point of view. But now both teams are involved. Long ball down the line. The winner in the air off hands the truck Rutten.
Adelaide man that mark, BT. They forced Collingwood to kick down the line a lot. Normally Collingwood love to switch and cut and run. There's a lot of long kicks down the line. It's really suiting Adelaide.
Just Collingwood's got some players outside the loop like Cracker, and he's dangerous.
And here he is, Gerard. You called it. Didn't get the bounce he'd wanted, but he got the result.
Leon's on.
Kick over the top. Blair needed to knock it down to Wellingham. Wellingham's got to be smart through traffic. Cracker did well. Looking for the free. Blair said, just get out of the way. I'll get it for you. Wellingham ran into the brick wall. Little handball off, intercepted. Brilliant play right. Adelaide out of trouble. Nice. Maxwell gets back. Well done, Nick Maxwell.
It was well done, and it was something McKernan needs to learn from. He was set up there. He just had to make a contest to get it to the ground because Knights was there.
There's a player on out wide here at Shaw, but the ball's going to spend a long time in the air. He's got a running Dawes who's just come off the bench. He says, you Shepherd, I'm the runner. A couple of bounces, a triple, a quadruple from 50 metres out. Shaw running towards goal. It's going to be a goal.
Brilliant play.
One of the goals of the year from Heath Shaw.
It was just brilliant work from Shaw, we know, but what you may not have seen off screen was the way that Cloak positioned himself. He got out of the square, and then he just got on the square side of his opponent's spud to make sure that Heath Shaw had the open goal face.
And not only that, Chris Dawes played the percentage here. Pointless him running on. You can just see him on the screen taking the big ruckman out, and that gave Heath Shaw the opportunity to run and carry his BT call out. One of the goals of the year, no doubt.
Oh boy, has this game gone up a notch from 52. Shaw admiring his work and encouraging his team forward. Back to 19-point margin. Out of the middle. Wellingham out the back. Pendlebury on the loop. Here goes Beams. Picks it up. Pounds another one. This one's offline, but will be out of bounds on the full.
He's lost a bit of confidence. Beams in front of goals, in particular today. Just could have had a couple.
Yeah.
I think now's the time to bring Richard Tamling into the game. They look like they've lost their dare down back here, the Crows.
And what about Didak? Your thoughts there?
Yeah, we always love Didak in the game. He's just doing some warming up as we speak.
Have a look at the forward pressure here from Collingwood. The pressure's on. John Cockett, Thomas! Mid-air collision! Like two 747s going at each other. And Thomas has won the free.
It was a magnificent play. They're winning the clearances too. King Collingwood, more importantly.
He's paid the marks, but I think it's going to come back.
Yep. Or boundary throw in it'll be.
He's fumbled it over the line, has he?
He's fumbled it over the line. The boundary umpire came in and said no, wasn't a mark. Had to come over. It's pretty good umpiring between the two of them.
Let's have a look at it. There's the first grab.
Fumble. Great call.
Yeah, good call in the end.
Great call.
Got it right. Douglas out of the loop. Collingwood's best pressure period was that last 30 seconds. Kick out wide. Harry O'Brien gathering ball. He loves it out here. Spudge, you're right. He feels much more comfortable, doesn't he?
No doubt.
Look at this. He's a different man all of a sudden.
That was wizardry.
There's Reid. Got the sack on out wide. He's going to have to work hard. He's got it. So Collingwood on the charge here. Adelaide need to get a steal and counter-attack. Side bottom. Speaking of steal. Around the corner. Swan can go. Will look to give it long and deep. Here comes Thomas. Over the back, McKernan. The tackle by Wellingham in the back.
Oh, it's great pressure, though, BT. I think Mick Malthouse will mind that one little bit.
What about the crowd going absolutely ape here at the moment?
Yeah, it's an enormous atmosphere here. It's a great stadium. Roof is closed. Full house, effectively. And it's a one-sided crowd, to say the least.
And what they're doing, Collingwood, they're going at 75% by foot. They're hitting every target possible.
Pretty much what Collingwood get when they go to Adelaide.
It is. This is the press all over again. Have a look at this. Collingwood conjure up another opportunity. Kicks a little wide for Cracker, out of bounds on the full. So really pressing now. We're about to find out about Adelaide.
Pendlebury's been the big lift, Gerard. 5 disposals this quarter.
Yeah, he had plenty of room to move, and he hasn't failed to deliver.
Knights to the contest. Look at the big boys in the front and over the back. Pendlebury, a little casual in gathering possession. He thought about the inside. He saw some free players there. Discipline made him go there, and Douglas did well. Just draw breath here for one moment. Backer offshore on there in the foreground. What a great third quarter it has been to watch between these two sides. Adelaide at the moment withstanding the pressure. Rutten, ground level, knocked it out. Van Berlo, the skipper. Now Knights. You can see Didak in the green vest. Can't wait to get involved. And when will that activation take place? I reckon 5 minutes, maybe before three-quarter time, or even slightly earlier if there are no injuries. Buckley, Leon Davis.
Had to be a tackle.
Missed tackle.
Oh, he was like a pinball machine there, Leon. The kick to McCarthy, dropped the mark. Now Cloak. Rutten did really well. Excellent work. Yench got the give and go from Sloane. Forced to go back to the pocket. Now the press comes into vogue. This is what Collingwood do so well. They get the pressure on. That's a ripping kick to Seller.
That was a great exit kick. They were right under the pump of the press, as you said, BT. Different unit.
Collingwood now getting the game played on their terms. Adelaide trying to handball out of defence. That's what they need to do. Kick it long and deep. Reid!
That's a magnificent grab. He's a beautiful contested mark.
They tried him up forward. They didn't like him he's kicking there, but he's worked down back.
Oh,
Off hands over the back. McCarthy can give it to Thomas. Thomas can run into an open goal. They are back within 13 points.
Great contest there. Magnificent contest from the two key forwards. I think it was Tarrant and Cloak that really did smash the pack. Brought the ball over the back. Let's have a look at the Adelaide defence. Well, that's that Ben Reid mark that started the forward thrust that went inside the forward 50. It was just a really long kick to a pack. Have a look at here. Oh, that's bad spoil there from Adelaide. Got the hand on the ball. The ball should have been long and wide. It went in the corridor, and that's the result.
Dale Thomas looks knackered. 4 goals to 1 in this third quarter for Collingwood. Runner saying, do you want to rest? He said, no, I want to stay.
Well, he ran his guts out to get forward, and there's Tambling on the line. He's about to come in. I think Patrick Dangerfield into the middle if you're a Crows supporter.
Well, Kingy called for the Tambling introduction moments ago, and I think you're going to get your way, David King.
Graham John Cox just come back on the field, boys. They've missed him down back the last 5 minutes.
Sure. On to Beams. Tripped over himself, kept it alive, really well done. That's a great centering ball. Dangerous for Adelaide. Over the top, Sloane. Now the race. Thomas and the big man, Jacobs. What a pick up from the big boy.
Fantastic.
It was clean and neat and tidy and all of those things. Boy, look at the Collingwood fans now getting behind their team with this big third quarter charge.
What about the intent from Thomas, the chase, the intensity around the ball has really lifted from Collingwood.
Adelaide need a responding goal. If they can get it in the hands of Dangerfield, they're a big, big chance. He's their only goal kicker in this third quarter.
Slow movement from the Crows under some pressure.
Knights. Harry O'Brien over the back. Reid. Henderson.
Got a spare in the goal square.
Dangerfield, if they can get it there, it's going to go. It's Gunston. Took the mark in the goal square. So that'll be a direct inline shot.
Well, that was a brilliant kick. Often players get close to goals and they lose their focus. See 2 white things sticking up in the middle of the air, but he spotted up Gunston, and you'd expect him to deliver.
For his 3rd career goal. Boy, do they need this to stem the flow. And Adelaide get one back. Under 8 minutes remaining in the third.
Well, it was against the flow. They had to work pretty hard for this one. Got the numbers forward. And in the finish, it was just a terrific kick. Just having a look here, he gets it round the corner, ducks a man right. Perfect disposal, Spud.
No, that was a magnificent kick. But this is the area where Adelaide are falling down. They need it against the play. They're getting smashed in the clearances this quarter. 9-3 in Collingwood's favour. It was all Adelaide in the first half.
Let's have a look at what Adelaide can do here in the middle. Getting beaten in the clearances, says Danny Fawley.
Need to get first hands on it here. 9-3. Collingwood's favour this quarter.
Wood and Jacobs, and there's another one. Spud 10-3. Out of the middle, they search forward. Shaw can go wide to McCarthy. 55 out. Here's Thomas on the lead in the pocket. It's a little high. Got to be strong. He is.
Brilliant jump. He jumped early, which prevents the Adelaide Crows player getting his balance right and getting his fist in.
You are 100% right, and I've seen them practice that in the gym, Gerard, because there was some contention that you shouldn't jump unless you're absolutely forced to. And they trialled it many times in the gym at Collingwood, and I know that they found the best way was to do exactly what Dale Thomas did then.
Well, you see him jump early, and I think it throws the defender out, and it also blocks his position from getting that arm over the top.
Alan Richardson led that little mini look into that jump when he was at the Pies. Here is Thomas. Good-looking ball just offline.
So was the debate over whether you jump or don't jump, or you jump early or not jump early?
Well, I think the debate over is whether you leave the ground or you don't leave the ground. And they found out that leaving the ground was indeed the way to go.
Well, often if you know a defender is a left-hand spoiler, if you actually jump and move to the left at the same time,
Buckley to the goal square. Just goes across the face. McCarthy out of bounds.
you can take away his ability to spoil the ball, which is why, Spud, I'm sure you'd be talking to players as a coach about being dual-sided with your defence.
No doubt. They talk about both handballs. You've got to be able to spoil with the left and right hand.
There's the stoppage situation again. Adelaide this time come up with a win. Knights, the tackle by Sloan, by Davis. Will he be rewarded? Ball up.
I mean, there is still a time and place for a kick under pressure. You just have to expect that your forwards are going to play in front, and that was the time.
3-goal margin, basically half the margin. Minus a few points here, the Pies in this quarter, so a good result for them. Not the required journey. That's why the mark wasn't paid there. Off hands, Riley. Down to the ground, had to go and get it. Van Berlo, quick hands. John Cock, the man Kingy spoke of, spent some time off the beach, on the bench while Collingwood charged forward. Here's Gunston. Beautiful, clean. Spud liked it. Smith through the middle. What do I do? Kick out in front of Yench. Wellingham gives chase. Salah is free if he can get the kick deep enough. And over the boundary line.
Poor kick. A couple of poor kicks, in fact. Smith, the youngster, he missed the Salah run, which was really attacking. And then that final one just had way too much airtime.
Yeah, Craig doing the job from the boundary line here today. McKernan over the top, third man up. Van Berlo
at the back, playing his role. Nick Maxwell needs to be made to defend because he intercepts marks better than anybody, Kingy.
He does, and I think they need to get Dangerfield back on the ground. He's having a short break on the bench. He's their best avenue out of the goal square.
You see Collingwood starting to switch the ball now, going one side to the other. Early in the game, they're going long and slow down the line, so they're looking for every opportunity to keep the ball moving.
It's Wellingham to Dawes, and he's starting to find the glove work now. The big man with the big paw, Chris Dawes, has rolled 2 one-handers in this quarter. Kick goes to 50. Over the back is Cloak. Now this is not beyond him. He says, steady, I'm 55 and I'm within range. He is a thumping kick. He decides to get rid of the glove. Tucks that well down into the jocks. I'm told there's a pocket there somewhere for mouth guards. Collingwood official told me that before the game.
You sure?
Don't believe them. On the way comes Cloak. Top of the goal square. Can they get a run at it? Doubt he rushed behind. John Cock. Big kick in. Collingwood press at full steam.
This will test them. This was their weakness coming in, and now they're right under the pump.
So he kicks it to the contest. Maxwell could have gone the grab. The discipline punch away, and Collingwood get their want.
Adelaide get their one as well, getting it across the line. I mean, I think Nick, if Adelaide been a little bit more confident, would have loved that one.
Webb with the head, good decision, umpire.
Riley Out of the loop. Come Adelaide. The vacant centre-half forward. Gee, Maxwell dropped off the pace of Sloane. It leaves Reid to go 1-on-2. Sloane could have gone for tip, but he went over the top. Needs a good roll. I think he's got it. He has. Sloane from beyond the arc.
Well, he's a vital player to this side. Rory Sloane's continued to improve. Wasn't a great fan of the kick, I've got to say, Spud. I thought Tippett was the option, but he backed himself, and good luck to him because he's got the result.
Matty Wright was on as well, Jared. You see Tippett pushing there to the screen, but you see Matty Wright on the right of screen. He was on also. Yeah. But
in the end, having a look at it, he made the right decision because Leon Davis had worked hard to get over to cover Tippett.
Very happy with his work. Rory Sloane kicks his second goal. A big kick from 60. Got the forward bounce rather than the reverse spin. Back in the middle. What a cracking third quarter of football we are seeing.
Got to get more defensive here, the Crows, because they're getting slaughtered, those centre clearances this quarter.
Look at that out of the middle. Blair, Beams couldn't hold on. Collingwood have got a 3-on-3 going here. In comes Dawes. John Cock. Picked up, Tarrant, ball, fast hands, Beams, goal!
forward line pressure. It's just purely and simply that they've had 6 tackles inside their forward 50 this quarter. They had 3 in the first half, Jared. That's work rate, that's want, that's desire. Keeping the ball alive. They're manic around the ball, the Pies. This is a magnificent game of football. Just see Luke Ball, he's had a great impact.
A big quarter.
As well this quarter as well. Just hard in the clinches, contested possessions. Beautiful goal. Great team goal.
It's a 5-goal-to-3 third quarter in favour of the Pies. They've trimmed it to 17.
I can see a number 4, boys. I can see Alan Didak taking the green vest off. He's going to be subbed into the game very shortly.
I reckon they go man-on-man in these centre clearances. Just kill it here, the Crows.
I wonder who's the red vest has been thrown to then. Must be someone coming off the ground because Billy Clark, the official, waiting to give it to someone. Here go Collingwood out of the middle. Blair went the little pass. He missed Cloak. Cracker sold some candy. Brings it back on the right. Remarkable goal from Andrew Cracker.
What a game.
Clever and clean was Krakua.
Oh, that was just an unbelievable goal from Andy Cracker. He just sold the dummy. That was just skill. Again, a centre clearance out of the middle, BT, you called it. Collingwood are just absolutely smashing him out of there. He just had a look. Great leading from the key forwards to open up the zone for Andy. Dowdy guarding the corridor, which will do him just as far too good. It's as simple as that.
Oh boy, Andrew Cracker gets the Pies within 11. Inspirational goal.
Wasn't it a beauty? It's a great game of footy. And, well, we've got another 35-odd minutes to go.
Stay with us. Cracking contest, going to go to the wire, you know that. Here's Knights. Look at the clock. 2:45 remaining in the third. Knights wide to the big Jacobs. Can anyone get there? Reid up over the back. Swan looking sluggish with that leg, that is for sure.
Oh, no. Too slow. Great pressure from Swan.
And here go Collingwood on the rebound. Swan working it through. Collingwood arms waving everywhere saying get it long. Swan, little kick over the top, wasn't his best. He does look very, very restricted at the moment. Van Berlo. On the rebound go Adelaide.
He can kick this.
Here's Knights. Winds up on the left boot. 52 metres out. A beautiful countering goal from Knights.
But that's the Chris Knights that was so damaging in his best year. What was it now, 12 months ago? He was such an important player as Collingwood the Crows charged to the finals. I think to finally end up running into Collingwood again. Slowly, he's coming back to some form.
10 goals in this quarter. It's a cracking quarter of football. 4 to Adelaide, 6 to Collingwood. You're right, that long left foot kick.
Let's go down to David King.
Well, Alan Didak had taken the green vest off for the best part of 2 minutes, boys, and then he was forced to put it back on whilst they tried to get Blair from the ground. I'm not sure where the AFL sit with that as a rule, but now He is subbed into the game, and Blair is subbed out.
So there it is, the sub activated now. It's just a matter of when Tambling is activated for Adelaide. Here's Riley looking to get the clearance. Vital in the middle here. There is Didak, the sub.
They're looking for something out of him.
Along the ground, pushed off. McKernan, kick around the body, missed.
Oh, what a sober. In the context of this game, you just got to take your opportunities, and they haven't had too many better ones than that.
He pushed Karen off the ball. It was a terrific. He did the hard work, won the contested ball at ground level. You'll have a look at the replay and thought, had a little bit more time than I thought.
Just wonder why Adelaide wouldn't go with Tambling now. Minute 45 remaining in the third quarter. He'll play sitting within or standing within a metre of where Richie Tambling is placed with the green vest.
I think what they've got to do is put some time into working out who's going to pick up Alan Didak. No one's gone near him yet, and he is a match winner.
They all fly, huge pack of players there. A minute 22 out the back door. Side bottom got it. Dawes has got a break on his opponent. He'll grab this and hit the goal. They've got an easy one, Collingwood. They're back within 2 goals, Collingwood, with 1.25 minutes remaining.
It was a great call, BT, out the back door to Crystal. It was amazing. He just found the space. The Adelaide defender, he just spectated the ball for half a second.
He didn't get urgent.
He didn't, Jared. That's the disappointing part. They were all over it early. Collingwood are winning the ball, so you've just got to have a look at the Adelaide defender there. He's just spectating the ball.
Yeah, he only went into top gear. The last 10 metres of that run, he had to go early.
It's amazing, really. We've got a minute and 10 seconds left, but it's so long.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So much can happen.
Well, it's 11 goals, BT. Luke Thompson was the defender. He just spectated the ball for half a second. That was enough for Chris Dawes to get goal side of him.
Boy, are we seeing some good footy this weekend. Some quality intensity.
Well, that's a win. That's a win for Adelaide because Collingwood have dominated the centre clearances this quarter. Dominated.
Runners are out there over time, letting the players know how long left. Shaw's got to go. So did Knight. Off hands Riley. Long ball. Harry Reid caught behind Tippett. Who can recover? Reid gets a free for a hold.
Well played. Brilliant battle this. Reid back on top in this quarter.
Tippett, 3 goals for the day. All in the first half, none in this third quarter. Spinning out of trouble was Beams to Shaw. The running left-footed Didak. Didak just over the head, couldn't quite get it there to Dawes. Salah.
Pressure.
Little fumble. Because of that pressure. McCarthy, centering ball. We've got 22 seconds left. Wood's going to take it. Give it to a rolling Buckley. Buckley from 60 metres out, high ball. Swan's going to mark it in the pocket. He has. No, he's dropped it. He's dropped the test mark with 12 seconds.
Have a look at Mick. Mick thought that he's going back to have a shot. Couldn't believe that he dropped the mark in the end. It was great gut running from Swan to get there.
Clock ticking, 10 within metres of Collingwood's goal. Didak head over it, got it out. Here's Cracker. He can do some unbelievable things. Thomas got to get it away. That'll be it for the third quarter. Wow-wee, what a quarter of football. Unbelievable stuff. Adelaide by 12 points. So many stories in this game of footy. 9-12-66 Collingwood to Adelaide 12-6-78. Stay with us. Plenty more to come in the last quarter. In this round, but this has been a corker. Adelaide by 12 points. Fourth quarter. Jacobs. Thomas done some damage. Has Dale Thomas. Cracker! Oh boy! Unbelievable jack in the box.
What a magnificent, unbelievable Indigenous round. We saw John Cock there. He's in shock.
Well, he went with him. He couldn't get up high enough though.
He's kicked the goal of the match in the third quarter. Have a look at this.
He went vertical up. Now for the finishing goal. It's out to the right-hand side and a minor score. Cracker lifted everyone out of their seats here at Etihad with that leap.
Well, if there's a better mark this year, it's going to win the mark of the year because that's got to be the #1 contender today.
Andrew Cracker just got to love watching him play.
Good effort there from him.
McKernan.
Big McKernan.
Beautiful hands in the middle. There's Dangerfield on the wing. Harry O'Brien now playing where he likes to play, up the ground. Kick is wide. It was well done by Knights. Can go inside to Jacobs, ignores that, goes long. Tarrant's got to go in the air here against Tippett, off hands, comes, opportunity, I think Henderson, it is around the corner, he's got it!
Another corridor goal. It was a great spoil from Collingwood to be nitpicky. It should have went wide. The spoil went front and square right in the corridor. You see the long, strong kick to the contest. Tarrant spoiled, just went down where Henderson was, had to get long and wide out of the boundary line. You put that ball out in front, that's where all the coming players are. Terrific game of footy, good contested football, tough, hard, in close. Good goal, Henderson.
Ricky Henderson, a very important goal as John Cock gets them work, looks like it's on the hip, and a 17-point Adelaide lead.
Started out of defence, though. It was a great kick out, and Sean McKernan did the right thing, took it and got along quickly.
In the middle they go. Pendlebury with the clearance, touch, so it won't be a mark. It's play on. McCarthy to Didak, running on his favoured left side. Kick wasn't great around the corner. Here's Dawes, got a clean pair of hands. Looks, gives it off the beam. He's hassled, corralled. Handball back to Didak. Went tunnel ball style between the legs. Tidied up by McCarthy. Kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Well, he tried to keep checks on there, McCarthy. Crack on the bench after that mark of the year.
Just getting some oxygen, Spud.
Yes.
He needs some after that.
He'll need the tank of it. In fact, there's none left in the stadium. And we're just waiting for the ball to come back here. It's gone down the opening in the stadium there, and eventually it's fished out of the car park. And just an opportunity for all to gather their thoughts.
Kingy, not sure about you, but I reckon if you're a Crows fan, you'd have to be paranoid about Alan Didak. He just looks ready to explode.
He does. He's trying his hardest out here. Just his execution not quite right at the moment. He hasn't got one to spin quite right off his boot, so that's a concern for the Pies because his turnovers are hurting him.
You're right, Jared. Still no one near him. He's just going wherever he wants at the moment, Didak. Thompson. Over the back is Tarrant. Sees Davis around the back corner. He's got Maxwell on. He ignores that. He says, I'm going to take him on by foot. Spearing handball to Buckley. Got the give and go back. Davis through a mountain of traffic in the middle. Brings it out on the left. It was great composure by Leon Davis. Pendlebury says, come on, come at me. Where are you? In he comes now. Cloak tries to protect the front position. Over the back it comes. Here's Dawes. Gathers near the boundary line. Gave it to Didak. Off hands.
Much experience from Rutten. Just see him ease Travis Cloak under the ball with his body. Didn't use his hands. It was a terrific kick, but Rutten's body strength eased him under the ball.
Over the back, Jacobs. Throw it in.
Well, this is a great challenge for the Crows players. They wouldn't have played in this intensity football for a period of time. One-on-one under the pump. They've got a good lead that they've got to A, protect and B, build on.
Partially smothered. Van Berlo to tidy it up. There's Tambling. Thompson was mauled by a couple. Vicious tackle by Sidebottom. Went and got it Adelaide, still got a little bit of juice there. Van Berlo under enormous pressure as he kicked it. There's Dangerfield, put up the one hand, got the free Paddy Dangerfield.
Well, that was outstanding work from the Adelaide defenders and blokes around the ball just working it through. He's having a magnificent game, Scott Thompson.
Have a look at this, they're free everywhere. Van Berlo's got space. Davis goes in for the tackle. A high ball on the head of Tippett. Tippett and Reid, Reid and Tippett. Neither get it in the end. Maxwell put the head down. Umpire said, I'm not having any of that. It was well umpired. And through comes Buckley. Goldsack. Collingwood at the moment through Tarrant. Long ball to Cloak. And once again, he was eased under the ball by Thompson.
Tip to the Pies there. I think Thompson had the hand right in the back. Umpire a bit generous.
Riley coming onto the ground for Adelaide. John Cock desperate to get back on. Riley, there he is, straight off the bench, bang. Goes inside 50, Knights and Maxwell almost collide. Good shepherd by Davis, allows Maxwell clean possession. That's incorrect disposal. He took him on. Free kick Adelaide, big kick. This to get it out to 23.
Both good and bad there from Nick Maxwell. He went back with a fly to the ball. He went looking for one of his teammates, but I think his teammate changed direction, and therefore he wasn't in his line of sight. He had to change direction, and we saw the result.
Right to extend the margin Adelaide's way for successive goals at the start of the last quarter. Right directly in front, has nailed the goal. Adelaide by 23.
They've been unbelievable in front of goal, and you see Nick Maxwell still asking the question why, but you just have a look here. Maxwell, great tackle, dropped the ball, incorrect disposal.
Yeah, I think he was asking the question of his teammate. Where's the support? He looked.
Yep.
Bang, there's no one there.
Get along and wide, but in front of goal, 8-4 from set shots Adelaide. Collingwood, 1 goal 7. That's the difference.
So Wright kicks the goal. Adelaide have got 2 in a row, and now the margin's 23. They are handling the pressure really well at the moment, Adelaide, because it has been fierce from Collingwood in this second half. Pendlebury, side bottom in the middle, smothered by ball, quick hands, Wellingham, around the corner direct, here comes Clogue, John Clock, great grab.
Seen a better match than this one this year, BT?
Probably not. Saw a half a game, I reckon, Geelong on Friday night.
Yeah, that was a ripper.
That was a classic, but this one here has been a beauty. Dowdy just goes wide to Rutt. Crowd just silenced for a moment. A good 40-odd thousand of them in here today. Incredible crowd for an interstate side playing. Salah. Beams couldn't get there. Salah ran away with a handball. Here go Adelaide on the attack once again. Pendlebury's got to go. Knights went and got a handball back there to Yench. 3-on-1. Look at Knights. Magnificent Knights. Did really well. Tambling wanted the free. Nothing on. Now an opportunity for Thompson. This time it's Luke Thompson around the corner. Here comes Tippett. Wood almost a mark running the same direction. An opportunity for Henderson to pick it up. And I think we might have a ball up, or does it trickle out the back? It does. Side bottom. On the ball. Got to hit the target in Cracker. Took the mark of the year moments ago. On to Didak. Let's see if he can get one to spin well. This time he does. Yes. It's a good-looking ball. Rutten got in front of Clogue. Terrence at front and centre. He's a left footer. He nurses it home. Terrence kicked the goal. He says, come on. 17-point margin.
It's a terrific game of footy.
Well, it was almost dead up the other end of the ground. I think all the Crows players thought there was going to be a stoppage, but they worked it through. Ball somehow involved again, and they got it forward and go. Right goal.
Good spoil from Rutten, and Chris Tarrant was all-Australian with Collingwood as a forward. Reinvented himself as a defender with Freo and spent most of this year down the back half. He could be the go-to player late in this quarter.
Incredible, isn't it? Tarrant gets them back to within 17. Playing as a forward. Let's go down to David King.
Scott Thompson back on, boys. He had 13 clearances for the day. He'd blown a shoelace. I think that's leather poisoning, boys. 30 disposals. They just couldn't last.
Warnett threadbare. Out of the middle. Look at this. Collingwood with another clearance ball. Handball out wide. McCarthy didn't have running support. Now he's got it in the gold sack. From centre wing, Goldsack goes wide. Dawes on the hop here. Did well, turned his man inside out. Neat little kick back to ball. He's not a long kick. Gets this one over the top to Wellingham. How important is this kick?
Good follow-on from Luke Ball. He got the initial clearance, BT, and then pushed inside the forward 50. Good running.
Now, if he won't come back on his angle, the umpire should just call play on.
Really lifted Luke Ball since half-time.
Wellingham to get it back to 11 points. Really tough angle. 25-metre kick. Wellingham comes in. Good looking ball. It's a goal. Collingwood have got 2 in 2 minutes and they're back to 11 points.
Did you hear them singing over in that forward pocket, BT?
Yes, I reckon there was some music over there, Jared.
What a great goal. I mean, we have seen some enormous goals today, but this one and Patrick Dangerfield's from the same spot, Spud, were under enormous pressure, and it's just great to see the players getting the job done.
Centre clearances, they've been, you win the centre clearance, you normally score, so big centre bounce coming up.
Now they got to within 11 points at the 28-minute mark of the third quarter, and then it got blown out to 23, and now it's back to 11 again.
Kingy, I like the move of Steele side bottom into the goal square. We know he's a great ball getter and he's a great finisher.
And I think they're trying to get John Cock to go deep defence, but they refuse, the Crows.
Okay, back out of the middle. Here we come again. Stay with us. This one, as I've mentioned numerous times, it is going to go right down to the wire. High ball into the Adelaide forward 50. Tip it! Almost. Sloan. Great sticking tackle by Thomas. Picked up by Thompson. Thompson around the corner. Did it clip the post?
It did.
Outside of the post, BT. Correct weight. He's out of game. 31 disposals.
So many exciting side stories in this game. Thompson, one of those. Here, that's a pretty ordinary kick. Collingwood let off. Swan to Wellingham. They got the loose over the top in Didak. Ball senses that straight away. Tarrant says, you keep coming, old Shepherd. Didak goes long to Cloak. Cloak's taking the mark from 50. He's got Cracker on inside. Cracker's going to take the mark.
Well, Graham John Cock left his man to go and defend. He did it really well, but the rebound from Collingwood was just so precise that his man has actually ended up with the football.
To get it back to a one-goal margin has not been this close since the 16-minute mark of the first quarter. Andrew Cracker, mark of the year moments ago. And now he's got a big, big kick for this one, and he misses. And in the end, Salah marks, or is it Jacobs to the latter?
It wasn't his best. 1 goal, 2, Andy, for the day.
Jacobs down the line. Henderson likes it in the air.
Listening on the radio coming into the game, BT, there's some nervous gentleman out there that had $1 million on Collingwood at $1.06. How'd you like to be in that position?
Yeah. Very, very nervous. So the Hawthorn boys had all their telephones confiscated today too before the game up there, which is unusual ploy by a club. There's Maxwell. No tweeting before the game. Kick out wide, Collingwood reload. Shaw. Cloak let it go, not sure why. Rutten.
Got to hurt them on a rebound here, but he's got nowhere to go. This is a really interesting decision. What's he do?
Gunston chips it back in for Knights. Leon Davis over the top. Now Maxwell on the counter. Needs to gather. Got running support. Goes really wide. Good decision. Goldsack now down the line. Swan and Rutten. Rutten and Swan. Over the back it comes. Swan leads the charge. He definitely looks injured. Beams involved there as well. It might have been. Little soccer out to Cloak. Cloak around the corner. Jacobs involved here. In the end, Van Berlo. Harry O'Brien with the intercept mark. He hoped Wood was a runner. It's a horrible kick around the corner. Here's Tarrant. Gave it to Didak. On the Cracker. Lovely hands. Cracker kicks the goal. They're within 1 goal.
Great call. You call it, Jared. Had to think it through on the half-forward line. Should have held the ball. Stop and go back, because he looked up. But Harry O'Brien, what a great intercept. That's the beauty of Harry O. Just the ability. Worked away beautifully through here. Tarrant to Didak. Just drew the extra and Andy Cracker. He's really lifted in the second half too, Andy, to kick 2 goals. Wasn't going to take Didak long to get involved either in the game.
Andrew Cracker and Leon Davis off simultaneously. They'll need both of them back on quickly, but there's still 10.5 minutes remaining. Collingwood within a goal. What an epic battle it is here. Indigenous round of football this weekend. Wellingham, Thomas, tucks, runs, 2 bounces, 50 metres out. Thomas just offline. Under a kick. It was, I think, a 30-point lead at half-time. Listen to the crowd roaring their approval here at Etihad Stadium of a resurgent Pies. Tippett. Tarrant's been fantastic. Reid to Tarrant. Here goes Shaw. Got it on the boot long. Dawes being held. No free. Umpire lets it go. John Cock bought a hole through the pack. Tambling. Fast hands Dowdy. A beautiful get out from Adelaide. Gunston denies.
There's the pressure. Just cannot get the ball through the corridor, and they're Adelaide. They own the corridor in the first 2.5 quarters, and Collingwood, because of the forward line pressure, they forced them wide.
Buckley, a long high ball to Maxwell. Maxwell's got a deep one on over the top inside bottom. He won't get there. Tambling's got some work to do. He did really well. Well done, Richard Tambling. These two guys have finished their rubs and they'll be back in business any moment. Cloak there as well, as you can see, a frantic Collingwood bench. Run his legs off, Andrew Cracker. He landed on the moon at one stage. And a free kick, Pendlebury.
The pressure's building.
Now, is he within range? I reckon he is. Man on the marks at 48, 47. Scott Pendlebury with a kick to remarkably put Collingwood in front. They were down 30 points 38 minutes ago. Tambling comes in from 50 metres out. Kick is a long one. It's a goal! Collingwood have hit the front!
Jared, you wanted this man to step up at half-time, Scott Pendlebury. With 24 disposals. It's just been electric.
And this was just probably the most important one. You've got to get in front. See, it's probably the easy bit is to get close, but you've got to get in front. And to go back and nail one from on the 50 was testament to his absolute steely nerve.
I don't reckon I've heard the buzz at this ground here for a long, long time.
Yeah.
It is absolutely electric.
What a great facility. The roof's shut, a little bit of rain outside. This is an amazing stadium, BT.
Neil Craig anxious. 4 Collingwood goals in a row. They now lead it by a point. What have Adelaide got?
Do you roll the dice? Do you take away one of your strengths and put him in the middle in Patrick Dangerfield's spot?
Yeah, I think you do, Jared. I think Harry O'Brien seems to have his number up the ground. He's playing at full forward at the moment. Scotty Thompson's the man. He's just continually getting clearances. They just need someone else to help him. He's doing it on his own at the moment.
Biggest margin of the game was 31 at the end of the third quarter, or near the end. Here is over the top side bottom, couldn't hold the mark. Collingwood by a point. We're at the 20-minute mark, so we're just about to enter red time. Didak to Swan. Swan with a good roll here. McCarthy did well to get back. Thompson, that was Luke. But side bottom's going to gather from near the boundary line.
Luke Ball.
He goes long and deep to that man.
Jeez, he's a smart kid.
Well, the smart play, but I've watched Richard Tambling, Jared. He spectated the ball. He was watching the ball, and look, that was okay, but he was guarding space. He just had to have a look around to see if there's any dangerous players. It was a great kick to Luke Ball.
The Adelaide players are guarding the run around here. There's no way Luke Ball will run around here. This will be a drop punt every day. From about 12 metres out, Luke Ball. 20 minutes ticked over. Big kick in this game. He kicks the goal. Collingwood by 7 points.
And good to see him pay tribute to the bloke who kicked it across to set him up. It was a difficult, reasonably difficult angle, but he got the job done given the status of the game. It was a tough kick, they all are. But it was a marvellous set-up shot by Steele Sidebottom here, who picks the ball up. Could have had a ping at goals himself, but he sees what's the better option, and that's Luke Ball right there.
He has a spell next to the man that's been subbed out in Blair. I think I said the biggest margin was 30. It was 31 points at the 29-minute mark of the second quarter. Ball kicks the goal. Collingwood by 7. David King, what are you thinking for Adelaide right here and right now?
Well, I think they need to put a loose man back for starters. They've kicked 5 goals in 12 minutes. If there's to be any chance, I think they need to just control the next 2 to 3 minutes to stay in the game.
Jacobs, an easy tap out of the middle, but he puts it straight down the throat of Thomas, now side bottom, who's given him an incredible lift. Side bottom to the lead of Cloak. Here he comes, got it. No, dropped it. Dowdy out the back door. A handball under pressure.
Oh.
He did well to get boot to ball in the end.
Yeah, he did beat Teague.
Got to go quick here, Crows. Can't afford to muck around. Let Collingwood get their press set up. This is giving them a chance.
They do, but they go to a 2-on-1, and it's a little man Douglas. Beams, Thomas, back to Beams, inside, got him Jacobs, handball to Wood, good hip and shoulder by Henderson. Buckley came through, said, what do I do? Handball off Wellingham, gobbled up. Van Berlo, need a goal. Desperate Adelaide here. Leon Davis comes on with the fresh legs. Boy, he climbs over the top as well.
Indigenous round, BT. Unbelievable marking from Crackler and Davis.
Beams. Adelaide just need a cool head to find a way through. Down the line, Thomas, how good has he been? Dale Thomas, this kick will suit him because he kicks it with a natural right to left bend.
How was the composure from Beams? Could have excused him for blazing away. Just took his time. Look at the Leon Davis grab. Oh, that's a beauty as well.
The reinvented Leon Davis. I know you guys think I love him, and I do, but he has been very, very impressive.
He has been too. He's helped Heath short today.
Thomas told by the umpires to get on with it. I reckon the distance will really test him. He's going the barrel. He's going the torp here. Thomas gets onto it. It's a miracle kick. Thomas has unloaded the biggest barrel of his career.
Well, that is unbelievable. Well called, BT. You've called it early. You kicked plenty in your day, and you knew straight away he's going the barrel. That's confidence. I'm not sure how far that's gone, Jared. It's gone about 4 rows back.
Yeah, it looked about 70, didn't it? I just love the decision to take it, though. And then to be able to execute. We'll take a look at some of the great torpedoes, I'm sure. He's right on the 50. He's gone over the post. And he's gone about 15 metres deep.
Well, he wouldn't have got there with the drop punt. So he said, well, I can't get here with the drop punt. I've got to go with something else.
I think it's gone all of 65 metres, that. As you said, I think it was 15 rows back. It was goalpost high when it went through.
Yeah, it was just the decision to take it, though, and to execute was fantastic.
6 straight goals here in the last quarter for Collingwood. And guess what? They're only 14 up, and Adelaide have got plenty of time here. Here they come, Henderson. Cut off from the run forward, kicked around the corner, long ball, good position here from the Adelaide Crows. Off hands, Knights, gathers. Oh, Reid got a hand there. And now a handball to a Hawkshaw. The running machine at half-back, Harry O'Brien. Multiple bounces onto Wellingham. Davis avoids capture initially. And now McCarthy. He was a late inclusion for Lee Brown. Over the back, Cloak. Has he got running support? Cloak, low ball on the lead, Tarrant.
He's been good, Tarrant, this quarter. He's had the 5 disposals. It's his second mark. He's already kicked a goal. He's set another one up to Andy Cracker. It's been a great move, this, putting Tarrant forward from Mick Malthouse. Maxwell started forward. He's gone down back. But Tarrant, he's looked very, very dangerous up here.
Tarrant for 7 straight for Collingwood. Comes in, he's kicked the goal. The crowd start to celebrate. They have ejected themselves out of their seats.
That's the second time he's grabbed his jumper after a great goal. He loves being back at Collingwood. I think that's what it's all about. I think how good's this? They've come back into a team. Terrific kick there from Cloak. Just kicked the ball to space for Tarrant. But just to go back, it's been an onslaught this quarter, unfortunately. 7 goals 3 to 2 goals 1. 17 inside 50s to 6. They've smashed him, Collingwood, this quarter.
Well, marvellous goal by Chris Tarrant. He's enjoying his time back. But, Spud, we've been inundated by phone calls from fathers whose sons are all asking them, what was that thing the other end of the ground called a torpedo?
Yeah, it's not a new kick.
What is it? Has it just been invented?
It's a barrel.
It went out of the game. We see it rarely. Peter Dacos is the only guy that I knew could kick him consistently. Here's Pendlebury. Goes forward. Tarrant again. Enjoyed the spell up forward. Here's Cracker. Gathers, kick around the bodies, kick a goal! You are a remarkable machine, Andrew Cracker.
What a highlights package for Andrew Cracker. It was amazing. He kicked the goal of the game, we thought. Thomas came in with the barrel. He's taken the mark of the year so far. He's kicked 2 of the better goals you'll ever see today.
And this was a ground that he didn't necessarily play well on.
It'll give him a lot of confidence, BT. It'll give Mick Malthouse a lot of confidence too, knowing that Andy is not just an MCG specialist. Amazing goal.
Andrew Cracker, take a bow. You've now conquered this game as Tarrant gets the cheers as he comes to the bench. What a game of highlights. A 57-point turnaround for Collingwood.
Powerful exhibition of what they're capable of, and everybody else who thinks that they're in for the chance at the other end of the season, Spud, will be looking at this thinking, what do we do when Tarrant goes forward, if he goes forward?
West Coast, another visiting team to Melbourne next week, will play Collingwood. And for Adelaide, they've got Brisbane, and Ball takes the mark just within his range.
This is darts practice now, boys. They are just going for everything, Collingwood. This is as aggressive as you'll see them. 8 goals in 18 minutes, and they look like kicking another 5.
Well, Dale Thomas has got 180 about 3 times in this term. His performance over the last 2 years has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been terrific.
Yes, I can't say that word either. For Collingwood's 9th straight goal in the last quarter, to come from 12 points down at 3/4 time, 31 points down in the second quarter. Ball for a 32-point lead for the Pies.
What a wonderful performance by the home side. Challenge. Take nothing away from Adelaide. They have delivered a fantastic performance, and I hope Neil Craig and his men get I guess the positives out of this, Spud, to take them forward in this season. They've played a high brand of football against the best opposition in the game at the present time. They've been blown away at the end, but they've hung in there well.
See Luke Ball kicking his second goal. David King, have Collingwood ramped their interchanges up again today? Because they've been pretty quiet on the interchange front the last month.
135 so far today they've had, so they were averaging 100 the previous month, so I think they're going back to what they know served them well.
Collingwood by 32 points, a crowd here of 38,849 today. It's been a revival that has to be seen to be believed. Thomas, he's handballing to himself now. That's how good he thinks he's going.
Oh, it's got an enormous engine though, BT. He has run himself into the ground. It's been a delight to watch.
Well, Collingwood have signed a couple during the week, Pendlebury, and I think that they signed Thomas as well, or he's very close to signing.
It's only a matter of time, isn't it?
And boy, won't they be happy about that, given the second halves of both of those players here today. Thomas in the first half was good as well.
9 possessions, Dale Thomas, in this final term. Couple of clearances, couple of tackles.
Goal of his life.
6 inside 50s, and something we haven't seen for about 100 years.
A torpedo. Remarkable for the kiddies at home to see what that kick actually looks like in flight. Harry O'Brien gives it on to Shaw. And there's how not to kick them. A wobbler. Up it goes off hand. Swan into the open goal. Kicks it. 10 in a row for Collingwood.
Well, the bloke who had the millions laughing all the way on the bank just at the moment. He's been comfortable since half-time, I think.
It's been an amazing turnaround. It's It's great to watch. It's just a sign at the top of their game. They were just going on 4 cylinders in the first half. They're on all 8 now. They just put the turbo booster down as well in this quarter. Power football.
Swan kicked the goal. He definitely has looked injured today, hasn't he? The towel has officially been thrown in for Adelaide. The scarves have been hoiked over the fence and said, no, we don't want it anymore, Jared.
He's over.
Well, they should be pretty proud because their team were great for 3 quarters and 8 minutes. Swan again. Over the top there was Thompson. Comes to ball. Wellingham. 11 Collingwood goals in a row.
It's unbelievable. The damn wall has just been smashed open. 22 inside 50s, 11 goals in a quarter of football. They only kicked 9 in the first 3 quarters.
When they had to deliver.
But it's amazing, BT. I think a lot of people were watching the first half. Geelong got over them last week. Is there a couple of chinks in the armour? They've come out after half-time and said, have a look at this, boys. We're still here. We're still the team.
Collingwood by a whopping 44 points in a 75-point turnaround since the 29th minute of the second quarter when Adelaide led by 31. Wood, Jacobs, Dangerfield got the clearance. McCarthy, I'm sorry. Here's Riley. The boy from Romsey in Victoria. A high ball over the head. Knights to finish the goal. He missed.
When was the last time you called a quarter when a side kicked 11 goals, BT? Does it roll off the tongue at all?
It doesn't roll off the tongue that easily, Jared. And especially before that, when the opposition team had kicked 2.
Yeah.
So 13 goals in the quarter collectively. Collingwood the last 11, and I can't remember the last time a side kicked 11. Yench. Around the corner with a high ball, and the mark is taken in the end by Gunston.
Bombers against Gold Coast has been thrown up, and it's probably right. I can't remember how they kicked it. Might have been
15.
Yeah.
Was it 15 in the first quarter?
It was a record.
Yeah, that's right. It was
Royal
true.
record in AFL footy.
So it wasn't that long ago.
No, Jared. You and I
Well,
are both suffering the effects of amnesia.
It was actually 4 weeks ago, Jared.
In fact,
Don't have to rub it in, Spud.
We were both doing the game as well.
imagine people at
We're not
home
gonna go.
screaming at the TV at us.
Yeah.
Jared, the producer went down my ear to tell me, so I made out on you.
Well, you weren't that smart, Spud. The boy from Bungaree couldn't be that smart. Here's Thomas. McCarthy. 13 seconds and ticking here that Eddie had in one of the great comebacks.
Unbelievable game of footy. It's been a pleasure to watch.
It has indeed. Collingwood are going to run out victors. Incredible scenes here. 43-point win to Collingwood. Look at them get out of their seats. There is not one person that has left this stadium. Collingwood have won the 2015 135 to Adelaide 14-8, 92. 38,849 in what can be described as one of the great games of football to watch, and even if you're not a supporter, to be entertained.
Well, it was entertaining to say the least. We had everything, big marks, big goals. And we had a underdog who really took it up to the champs, but they just weren't quite capable to go the 15 rounds. They went about 12 and a half, but when it really counted, they were left a little bit wondering where they need to go.
No, it was amazing. 12 different goal kickers again for Collingwood. Some of the greatest highlights you'll ever see in a package of football. And we'll head down to David King.
Well, we've got a couple of the Collingwood stars with us, boys. It's Indigenous round, and we've got Leon and Andrew Cracker. Leon, before I go to Andrew, can you describe his mark to me? Because I think he'll give a different version.
I thought the roof was closed tonight, but it was pretty high, wasn't he? I reckon he could have grabbed on up there. Pretty high, impressive. I think he should have kicked the goal. I reckon I would have kicked it, but yeah.
It was a powerful display. Give us your version of events, Andrew. I know you're a very shy guy, but give us your version of the mark. Is that the best one you've taken?
Yeah, probably, mate. I just saw the ball had a little jump, and luckily enough, I plucked it, mate. So yeah.
Come on now, give us your version that's for the public, mate. Talk it up a bit. Is it mark of the year?
Oh, mate, she's a long way left, mate, so we'll see how we go.
What does Indigenous Mound read to you guys? You obviously, you love embracing each other after the game. It's a huge part of the legacy that you leave on the game. Leon, tell us your version of what it means to you.
Yeah, very important, very significant. I just look back on Longy, McLeod, Matera, Nicky Wimmo, all those blokes that paved the way for us to have a round like this tonight. So full credit to them, and they actually paved the way for us. So full credit to them, I reckon. Andrew?
Yeah, no, like Matt mentioned, those blokes and my dad and uncle as well, they played the part and made the transitions for us to get involved in getting AFL footy is amazing. So it was just great we could represent Aboriginal people in this round.
Great, powerful last quarter, boys. Well done. Go and enjoy it, and go and tell the real version of your mark inside.
And speaking of those marks, let's have a look at them. First of all, remind us of Leon Davis and Andrew Cracker. Cracker launched. A magnificent launch from Andrew Cracker. Look at that, up he goes. Sensational. And then Leon over the top. The marvel. Inspirational stuff here at Etihad Stadium. Unbelievable game of footy. In the end, 43-point victors were Collingwood. 2015 135 to 14-8 92, and they are a dancing in the aisles.